Oh God.
Oh, something's happening. We're live.
We are live?
We're
Yeah.
live.
Hey. Alright.
We made
Hey!
it.
That's pretty cool.
There it is.
That's what you would call poggers, I think.
Pogs
Oh,
in the
yeah.
chat.
Cheers to
guys.
Alright, okay. I don't know why that wasn't working.
Mhm.
And I have no idea where you want me to put any of this stuff.
No, it's fine like it
I-
is.
I think we'll just roll with it as is.
Yeah.
Seems to
Absolutely.
be functioning.
If it's
Hello,
working,
everybody.
don't touch it.
Hi, chat.
Exactly.
Venom? I can't hear you.
I was muted.
No, that's. Oh,
No, it was me.
I just
Yeah.
thought it was an improvement, but okay.
Yeah, we will. We have some graphics set up for the stream and everything, but we've had some technical difficulties, so we will sort them out for the next VODcast that we do. This will be hopefully a thing that is going to happen more frequently.
Put that
Okay,
right over there.
Just leave it over Gamut's face. It'll be like Mike Wazowski. I'm on the Unity Rocksmith stream.
Okay, I think pretty much everyone here knows everyone, but just short introduction starting from the top and going down. So, like, someone is putting up.
That's me.
Yeah, so.
I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
getting
Hi,
here.
I'm Gamut. I play guitar and drums on the internet.
Hi, I'm Griff. I play bass.
I'm the Lionhead, and I also play bass.
I'm Dave. I play guitar.
I'm Venom, founder of the Unity Rocksmith community. And
What do you play though?
Midwest. I don't play. Well, I kind of play guitar a little bit sometimes. And I play
Pretty good at singing too.
My name's Oak. Sorry. Off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay.
So basically, we are the most professional vodcast stream on Twitch. That's just a given, even though we said it.
At least-
But yeah, we're going to try to do some interviews. Gonna ask these guys some questions. They're gonna answer it. Hopefully, it's gonna be interesting what they say. But we'll see
Wait a
how
minute,
it
there's
goes from there.
structure to this? I was told to just show up with beer and talk.
Well, that's because you were late.
That's your job. But yeah, starting again from the top. When did you start playing your instruments? Like, for those who play multiple gamuts.
So I've been playing drums since 6th grade. I originally wanted to play guitar, but they shoved me on the drums, and I was like, oh. And then my parents bought me a drum kit, and I was like, well, I guess I'm committed to this now. And eventually, though, when Rocksmith came out, I was like, hold on a second. I remember that I really, really wanted to play guitar, and here's the perfect excuse. I'm already really good at music games. And here we are. That was 8 years ago that Rocksmith 1 came out, I think, and I got it that Christmas.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you just quickly for the non-Americans out here, what age is 6th grade?
Oh yeah.
11, so 20 years of drums. But not on and off, right? Because like when I've
Yeah.
gone in and out of living situations where you can play the drums. And when I started playing guitar, I was really focused on that.
Yeah,
All right.
that's actually quite interesting. I did not know that, but yeah, going on to the next one, Griff.
Yeah, so I actually started playing guitar when I was about 12 or so, and I kind of picked it up and put it down until the first Rocksmith came out. I had gotten it that Christmas, and the rest is kind of history from there. And my shift from rhythm guitar to bass actually happened on Twitch, because I noticed that I was having a lot more success with bass because I get confused with six strings. I really do. So not only like dropping the strings down too, I was able to find more success and more growth with bass. So that's me. I mean, my parents didn't really like push the music thing. They were actually a little hesitant to let me even have an instrument in the first place, but thank God they did.
That's awesome. Dave?
The first instrument I learnt was probably keyboard. Actually, yeah, I was about 8 or 9. Learnt that for about a year or two. Didn't really sort of stick with it. It wasn't interesting me much. I learnt quite a bit about music itself at that point, but the instrument itself wasn't really that interesting to me. So I actually started playing guitar when I was 11. Started out in school playing classical guitars because at the time that was what kids learnt. I didn't have the choice. If I had the choice, I would have started straight on electric. Um, but that's it. That's what they taught kids. So I learnt that for about 5 or 6 years. Wasn't paying too much attention to it, to be honest, up until I was about sort of 15, 16. Then then they allowed me to learn electric, and so I was learning then for a couple of years. Then before sort of leaving school. Joined my first band at about sort of I think I was 17, almost 18, and that was my brother's band. Joined them, and I was playing with those throughout most of about till I was about sort of 25 or so. Then after that, my playing sort of plateaued. Wasn't really learning anything, wasn't doing anything new up until sort of I started streaming Rocksmith. At that point, I started picking up lead playing. It wasn't until sort of very, very recently that I actually started playing lead. I was always a rhythm player until then. And I've been doing this now for the last 4 years or so. And been having fun with it.
4 years
That's a-
streaming Rocksmith. That's a long
That's
time.
amazing, mate.
Yeah.
Yep. You're up,
So-
Venom.
So back in the day, when I was a youngster, at 25, I think I was about 25. I wanted to learn guitar, so at an auction, I got this guitar, and I was determined to play it. It was pretty shit. I'm not gonna lie, and within 3 months. So at work, basically, I got a lot of guys together who were working. I was in the Air Force at the time, and I got a lot of guys together who knew how to play guitar. And we went in the first aid room, which never got used, on our breaks, and then took our guitars in and we used to practice. And that's where I learned like basic chords. All right, like really fucking basic chords. And within 3 months, I'd organized a band, and I was the rhythm player playing these basic chords that I'd learned. So that was my shit. We had a really good time. We did some like pretty small gigs, and it was a lot of fun. The singer was a bit of a dick, but she was married to the drummer, so drummers are really
Package
important.
deal.
Any drummers out there, you're the first person. If you're gonna make a band, find a fucking drummer. That is like
Drummers
drummer-
really are the
don't-
rarest.
Good drummers are very fucking hard to find as well.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But he was a fantastic drummer, but his wife couldn't sing for shit. So I I kind of I was like, okay, so we did all these gigs, and that was pretty cool. And then I started singing, and that's when my singing career started. So I left that band and I went for a tryout for a band that was doing really well, that was playing some like old 80s hair metal, like Dokken, fucking Poison, shit like that. And I went for the tryout, and I was pretty shit. All right. Them songs are tough, even as a singer. And I thought it was all right. I thought, oh, I'm a pretty good singer, but it was horrendous. And I got a phone call saying, "We want you to come back because we think you've got like the stage presence and also the ability. We can work with it." So at first, what we did was we dropped all the songs down half a step, and that made it much easier. And then when I got better, we pushed them back up to their original tuning, and that's where my singing career went.
That's so cool that you like actively like were like move down the notes to fit your voice more, and then worked your way back up.
And it was an amazing band. They were so nice. They were so supportive, and we played in front of our biggest gig was probably about in front of a couple of thousand people.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Pretty
It was
big.
amazing. I loved it, and they're still going today, which is fucking awesome. And after that, there was nothing. I came to Saudi Arabia. We got in bands, and I was the singer. And it was until I got in touch with Herman Lee, and we started chatting, and we became friends. And watching his stream, he raided the first stream I ever was in his stream. The first time I was ever in his stream, we raided Rubber Dave. And then on the next couple of streams, or maybe a couple of streams after, we raided Chainbrain. And I was like, I want to fucking do this. Like, I really want to do this. So I picked up, I got another guitar, started learning on Rocksmith, and 18 months later, from streaming on the first day that I started Rocksmith, here we are now. We're right here. And that's my story.
You've come so far in
That's
in such
fun.
a small amount of time too, Venom
Yeah.
Hammer. Like I'm always blown away when I like
Yeah.
check into your stream for the first time in a bit and seeing like a huge step up in skill, you know, like every time, like you move quick.
Yeah, it's easy
Oh,
to
you're
forget
driven.
you weren't already sort of like heavily into guitar when you started playing Rocksmith.
Well, I'm the type of person that's like, if we're gonna do something, yeah, if I'm gonna do something or achieve something, I'm going fucking balls deep. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, the whole Unity Shredfest is testament to that.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
get onto that later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Anyway, so yeah.
So about 6.5, 7 years ago, I was working with my dad at the time, and I had a friend at work tell me that he was playing bass at the time, and he was using a game that I was using similar, Guitar Hero. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. But he said that he had just found a new game recently that was helping with his bass, and could potentially work with guitar. So, that game being Rocksmith. So he was telling me all about it. Whilst I was there at the time, I didn't have the console to play with at the time or the extra spare cash, but I saved up a little bit of money from when I was working there, and decided, hey, I've got this money. It's the first time I've been working a little bit of a job, so I'm gonna spend. And by spending it, I was like, what, 130 quid for me was like big money at the time. But pretty much from then on, Rocksmith was my teacher. It was the thing that taught me everything with guitar, really. Everyone has their people that they can rely on. It's like, they can say, oh, I had a teacher and that was the experiment for me. But I never went to any music lessons. It was just Rocksmith, or on the odd occasion when I was at uni hanging out with a friend that happened to also play guitar. But it wasn't until my second year of uni that I happened to meet a drummer who happened to also be an amazing guitarist. His name's not Gamut, I'm afraid. But
there are several of us. There are dozens of us.
yeah. But just being around someone else that had music experience as well was probably the biggest growth for me, because I was feeling like it was kind of stagnant a bit on Rocksmith, because I was just using Rocksmith, no other like outside help. But through that extra push, I was able to like really, really push and define myself. Hey, he can do this. I should try and strive for something similar, or strive for that kind of attitude towards music. So
that
think
always
it's-
helps.
I think it's fascinating the fact that like I feel like everybody in music really like improves in that way, like plateaus and spurts, you know what I mean? And it's interesting that just like meeting the right person, or like what is it exactly that triggers those like big bursts of improvement? Because if you could just like stay there all the time, then that's like true ascension, you know?
Yeah, if you know anybody of a similar sort of skill level to you, it's absolutely brilliant to just sort of sit down together and sort of play. If one of you knows something that the other doesn't, you're like, oh, you could. How do you do that? And then he shows you, and then a little bit later on you do something, and he was like, how do you do that? It's like, and it's absolutely brilliant thing to do. Is just to have a buddy who
You've got
Anyway, sorry, Doc.
but like the one thing that, sorry to interrupt, the one thing that I have learned, like the way that I have progressed has been like testament to you people, not me. I mean, if I can't do a song, and this goes for anyone in the chat, right? If you're having trouble with a song, that you're learning, fucking request it in someone's stream and watch their hands. Watching
It's
people
so often
has been my teaching, like my learning method for so long now with Rocksmith, and it's from Gamut, from Chainbrain, from Dave, from Zelk, everyone, not the bassist, I'm sorry, but everyone that plays like normal guitar instrument. All right, I've learned so much from everyone, and just by requesting those songs, like I was massively into Ghost, like playing Ghost songs when I first started Rocksmith, and I was like, how the fuck does this guy do this? Okay, Gamut. Play this song, Gamut. Okay, and then
you watch and then you pick it up, and it really is like I think that's the heart of it too. Like it tends to be like a social thing. It tends to be through connection with other people. It tends to be through unity that as musicians that we really do like push ourselves to new heights together, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Sorry, Zelk, carry on with your story.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, well, basically from then on, I tried using as best to my ability and availability from where I am, as much kind of outsider perspective as possible. Watching a lot of different people on YouTube, pretty much doing exactly the same thing you've just said. Watching someone else. At this point, I wasn't really watching Twitch streamers. I was casually on and off. That's where I had my eyes set on a couple of different Rocksmith streamers, namely Gamut being one of the OGs for me. But
I can't. It sometimes blows my mind that I'm like very OG Rocksmith Twitch at this point.
I mean, honestly, like Gamut, what's even crazier is I'm more OG than the rest of this group here.
It's true. You are like the
I am part of the OG. Like I'm part of the old Digital Rockers phase. If anyone remembers that shit.
Well,
What was that?
I know
It
that.
was so Digital Rockers
is
was
amazing.
even like before we had the music section of Twitch. This is so old. Like it was Rocksmith streamers, but it was also regular regular music streamers as well. And then like Toy Machine said, it was Rocksmith Unite before that as well.
I remember that. That
I
was
remember
when I joined the crew.
Yeah.
It was,
I think that had been resurrected.
by the way. Yeah. It was actually by accident. I was toying with the idea. In fact, we'll get onto this later. Just we'll get onto it later.
Fantastic. That's actually really interesting, just hearing your stories and all of that fun stuff. Just
Random
so
thing.
many different.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
People are just saying
very.
People are just saying it's buffering. So
we might want. I was just about to say it might be worth it restarting the stream in 480p. What are we broadcasting at?
in 480. I could do 720 maybe. Then still keep some definition.
Yeah.
All right. Going on a hiatus then, guys. As I'm in control of this for some reason. So give us just 1 second, guys. Pit stop as well. If you guys need to go to the loo, grab a drink, it's probably the best time for that. So
Oh, I totally need a second beer.
yeah, all right. so,
Great start though. Really interesting. Everyone's
Yeah.
like stories are fucking awesome. And we got 53
And we're
viewers.
back.
Yeah. Right, we're live.
we lost a member.
Sorry, and he is an actual member. You know.
Close enough, but yeah, we're back. Well, the only one who hasn't talked about the musical career is me, but
Mhm.
yeah, I can chug in.
Yeah,
I got it.
we'd like to hear it.
Really cheap. I got a really cheap bad Strat when I was like 11. Played it, it broke, as anything does when you're 11. Didn't really go into music until I was with my fiance at the time for about 3 years. She was an amazing guitarist though. She could really fucking shred it. Really huge influences in Megadeth, all of that. Tried to learn some guitar from her. I found out, yeah, the skill level was just way too far off. So let's try this bass thing. Why not? And I kind of just went on from there. Played on myself, tried to record some stuff. Really boring, really nothing much happening. Was actually at the point where I thought about selling all my gear and just quit music altogether. Then one of my personal friends and stream buddies called Press Waste, which also was a bassist back that I knew in high school, he suggested, hey, try this Rocksmith thing. See how that goes. Streamed up maybe 2 times, then got Wrath of all guys to raid me. And all of a sudden I like tripled my follower base in 10 minutes. Found out might be actually a thing. Been doing this since like, what is it, 2018? I did some gaming stuff on Twitch before that, so I was already into the Twitch thing, but didn't do much music until 2018. And that's basically what I do now.
I originally wanted to be a Dota streamer. It's a funny thing to think about.
I mean, it's something you still kind of do from time to time. You
Once in a while,
Oh,
but it's like not the highlight of my channel. I'm having fun and nobody else is.
Yeah, I started off playing Marvel Heroes, if anyone remembers that dead game.
Marble
That was
Heroes.
my first stream game. It was like it was like a Diablo 3 clone,
Okay.
except for with Marvel characters. And that was, I think it was that and League of Legends that I started streaming with before I even considered streaming Rocksmith.
Hey, Elliot.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hello.
Oh,
We
is
have a
that
new-
an
we have a
Elliot?
new
It's
member.
super dark.
Oh,
How's it
getting
going?
some video.
Sorry.
Yeah, sneaking into the
I
Camera might
introduced
not work.
another person.
Rip.
There we go.
There we go.
Yay!
It's always the camera
on.
that you don't want.
So if you guys have ever been on
So, yeah.
a Reddit Discord or anything like that, where people discuss Rocksmith outside of just the Rocksmith Unity page, more than likely you've ended up talking to this guy right here. So
Todd Machine,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yes.
legend.
Yeah,
in the
we need to hear your story as well.
Mm.
My
We
story.
definitely need to hear your story.
My story is the bomb.
Yes.
Do
We
it.
have the time.
Do we have the time to listen to me whine?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I agreed that we have the time, so it's completely fine.
Okay. So I started playing Rocksmith in 2011. The reason that I knew about it is because I've been following rhythm games since 2005. So if you can do the math, you can figure out how old I am. So when they announced Rocksmith, a lot of people were skeptical about it, but I was like, it's a new music game, so I'm going to follow it. So I took like every opportunity I could to figure out stuff about it. At the time, I was covering Guitar Hero, and it was about to go on hiatus. for 5 years. So I started like just basically researching everything I could about it, and then finally when they announced they were doing this, like, not really a tour, but Ubisoft was going to put it at like different festivals. So it was at the festival that actually Opeth and Megadeth were playing, Heavy Toronto, that Chainbrain was at also apparently, but he didn't play Rocksmith. So yeah, I played it there, and I was like, wow, this actually really works.
Is
And
that where I've seen the photo of you sort of stood near Dave Mustaine?
no, that was the Warriors of Rock launch, so that was
Okay.
2010 ish.
I still
Yeah.
miss some stuff about
Or
Rocksmith 1.
2009 maybe.
There's so much stuff that was cool about Rocksmith 1 specifically that like isn't in Rocksmith 2014 anymore.
Please
Like
indulge
hearing your there, first of all, there was a story mode which wasn't that big a deal, but it was kind of cool.
Hmm.
And then there was
It would play back your performance.
Yeah,
right,
that was
and like
that was
it would
Yeah.
be. I'm surprised they didn't build on that and like let you just like send your performance to other people so you could jam with other people like Twitch Sing style.
There's probably licensing reasons for that. I'm gonna guess.
it was pretty cool. That replay thing is I remember like ELX, who was the first person to like 100% like everything on lead guitar, rhythm, and whatever bonus arrangements on Rocksmith 1. There's like videos of his like 100%, but because like he didn't know that it was gonna happen, he would record the replay. So like the only Star Spangled Banner like FC video is basically him like just like on the end menu, like just watching it. And you can, and if you watch, a lot of people are like, I wish that Rocksmith could save your like playbacks, and then I'm like, go watch one of the videos and tell me if that's good. And also the reason that we have Riff Repeater is because we got rid of like that. So like like that we have the nice like looping thing, because before it was like a nightmare.
I feel like
we
they're
had-
two. I don't feel like it's like that was instead of it. I feel like we could have both, you know.
Well, we can probably now.
Well,
Like,
now we probably can if they're
Yeah.
making a new one. Yeah.
if
Totally.
Yeah, that's only like huge if though.
Yeah, a matter of time restraints on the people making it, basically.
in my opinion, like if they do make another one, that would be fucking awesome. But at the same time, I'm so happy with how this is all connected so many people at the same time. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. It's irrelevant to me. The thing about me is I'm all about the community. If we stay as we are, then it's fucking awesome. If we don't and we progress, then it's awesome. It's a win-win situation for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what we are at this standpoint as the community evolved, we're basically like we're like in the GH3 era, because we're like a community that's sustained basically on constantly modifying and like improving and putting content into like a game that's like 7 years old.
Yeah.
So
like
even if like they made a new one, if they do, there will probably still be people that stick with like 2014.
And you've just raised a point that made me realize if we do another one of these podcasts, we need to get some of the guys who make the RS mods in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Also, I was thinking maybe get some of the guys that have converted from Guitar Hero, the Guitar Hero community, to this community, like their opinions and what they think of the whole thing.
Yo, that makes me think of our friend GH Addict,
Will.
Will Fox is
Yeah.
his new name.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
He actually recently has like become. He started as a clone hero and he got famous and got partnered as Clone Hero. But nowadays, even though his Rocksmith streams aren't as big as the Clone Hero streams, he doesn't care. He likes Rocksmith better. This is what makes him happy. It's cool to see.
Yeah, but this was
You ruined his segue.
my whole fucking like thing that I just talked about was about Will. However, I didn't want to mention his name I wanted to keep it a secret for another stream. You fucking ruined it.
I didn't know there's this organization. I was told come out and talk and have
This is
beer.
why you only can have one Canadian on a podcast. As soon as I showed up, damn it, got unhinged.
The Canadians confused each other. They're both going to be unhinged by the end of this stream, guaranteed.
Pretty much.
Am I the only non-English speaker here? Yeah,
Yep.
I am.
Probably, yeah.
Surrounded.
You want me to crack on, but no. Well, yeah, kind of. And
Yeah.
no.
Anyway, what was your segue? We keep interrupting you because we're all rude.
There was no segue. I just want. I find it very interesting that we've come to this. Like, no, we'll leave this till the part where it's due.
Okay.
An interesting conversation. Where this all started. I know the questions. Okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of got a heads up. Well, not everyone was that lucky, but I was going to ask a bit about how you if you were self-taught or if you got a teacher and all of that, but a lot of you guys just cover that naturally in your story, so we're going to just skip a bit. What was your first instrument, and do you still have it?
Red, I was self-taught originally, just to carry this on a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Not originally, but I will
Sure.
tell you this now, right? Anyone in the chat, if you're new to Rocksmith, right? I will give you some advice from something that I've learned along the way in the past 18 months. Is you cannot learn just from Rocksmith. I was basically I learned Rocksmith in the start, and then when I didn't know anything, like when I couldn't do something, I got in touch with a great friend of mine, Tim Sawyer, who taught quite a lot of some famous people how to play guitar. I'm not going to mention who. And I went round his house and learned some like basic stuff. Like when I couldn't do something, I got in contact with him. And when I was in Saudi, what I did was he Skyped me or sent me videos on how to learn stuff. And that is one of the reasons that I've progressed so quickly. Get a guitar teacher.
I mean, what I would say, sorry, what I would say is that like every different means of learning is a different resource. The more resources you have available,
absolutely,
the more that you've got to draw upon.
Yep.
And if you haven't got the money to pay for a guitar teacher, then fucking use YouTube. It's an endless source of information. Use it.
Yeah.
Rocksmith itself. I think Rocksmith itself, at the end of the day, is like very much like a self-teaching tool, and you really only get as much out of it as you have ability to self-teach. I think, because I think Rocksmith itself has like a lot of weaknesses. I talk about this a lot. Like it doesn't have anything for dynamics. Like it has accents in Rocksmith 2014, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's gone Waylon, okay.
There's another part to this, which is I think Jared Dines covered it in a video that I watched earlier today, and that is the single greatest resource that you can draw upon is practice. Every single resource you have available tells you stuff, but all they do is tell you stuff. Practice. Do the fucking practice, you'll get better.
Oh yeah,
I think there is a
God
limitation
damn it,
to
Elliot.
what Gamut said. There is like a limit to what you're able to teach yourself and apply into everything. Like I said, I was stagnating within Rocksmith because I didn't have that extra push, because I didn't know where I needed to go next, other than to say, oh, I should be affording a guitar teacher at this point. I knew that was like the next logical step because I needed someone else's guidance, and the easiest way that I was able to do that without actually paying for a guitar teacher was making friends with someone else that had music experience and just hanging around with them. And like I said earlier, that was my biggest boost, I think, creatively. And
also, what I'd add is a good way to meet other musicians is to it's impossible at the moment in the UK, but go to jam nights, just find places where musicians are just turning up and doing their thing, and go and join in.
Not impossible. It is not impossible. Like the way
it is right this moment because everywhere's shut in the UK.
I'll give you an example.
Okay, it's not impossible, but it is most likely illegal.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna go down that road. Anyway, I've made friends with more musicians in the time that I've been streaming on Twitch or just before than I have ever done. Ever.
I feel like Twitch supercharges your we were talking earlier about how the social power of like improvement, and I feel like Twitch is just like when I started streaming on Twitch, that's when I got extra serious. I thought I was serious before. No. When I started spending my entire life like watching people play and like talking with people that are on the same journey as me and like it just totally immersing myself in it, that's when things really lit up.
Before sorry, Red, go on. Because you've literally not.
No, I'm too polite. No, I just found another interesting question that we might take upon when we talk about teaching is like, what part of musical training do you regret not getting into sooner?
All of it.
Like what part of
scales?
For me,
scales, fucking everything. I don't know shit.
I would go with the all of it, and I'll expand on that and say that I really only got interested in the theory and stuff about 20 years after my last lesson.
I learned scales early on, and I wish that, and then I was very diligent about learning them for the first year or so, and then I just totally stopped, and I regret that so much because now every time I try to improv or anything, I'm like, where the fuck am I?
I've been doing that again recently. I'm like, I know a Phrygian scale at this point, and I'm like, okay, I'll put on like a Phrygian backing track, and I'm like, I'm lost. I'm completely lost. I'm fine for like 20 seconds. That sounds cool. That was lucky. And then I'm back to being lost again, like the whole time of that.
I know where the fridge is. That's pretty much where my fucking scales end, unfortunately.
Keep my scales fresh.
Scales is like
about 4 years or so ago, I taught myself the modes and whatnot using a spreadsheet. I can bore you all with that some other time, I think.
Love how your brain is just spreadsheets forever, Dave. That's how your brain works.
Lesson 101.
I was in choral music for 7 years, so like I can read music, but I can't translate it when I'm actually playing an instrument. So
you do read with Rocksmith though, right?
Those are tabs though. That doesn't count. That doesn't count at all. That's like
same information.
No, it's like reading tablature. It's completely different. Like you're having to worry about not only your treble scale, but you're having to worry about your bass scale when you're reading actual music. So like reading tablature and reading music are two separate like beings.
Well, they're different languages, but it's the same concept. Like,
right.
I think that was the original. I think tab, from what my friend said.
Yes.
And he might be a liar. Tab.
No,
before actual like musical reading music.
Yeah, I actually was in a sensible debate on Reddit, believe it or not, about this, and I got that source where tabs became was actually before sheet music, and then the thing is that tabs is, I don't know who said it, but tabs is way more like reading the phonetic alphabet, while sheet music is more like reading a script.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can totally agree to that.
The thing with all of those things, I mean, like it's the same as when you see people like arguing about whether you should invert the strings. on a Rocksmith tab or not. It doesn't matter. Like
You should.
like that the only
You're on the
only thing
control,
is
You're
the
on
only
the
thing is it should be showing you how to hit the right notes. If at the end of the day you're hitting the right notes, it's showing you the right stuff. None of that is the music itself. It's just showing you what to play. If it's showing you how to
As
play correctly, then it's working. If it's not, try something different.
as someone
That's
that was raised
Yes.
with Rocksmith from my guitar experience, now every time I look at tabs themselves, when I look at on the website, look upside down to me. And if I'd learned to play Rocksmith in what I now consider upside down, reading tabs, I think I'd be able to read a tab like I would be able to read a Rocksmith chart.
Well, I
Have
mean,
you,
I've just-
you ever thought about changing it in the
different-
No,
half
just
and
out of
half. I feel
Yeah.
like I would step back like a year or so's progress almost
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a couple of weeks, and then obviously I'd get back into that system. But
yeah,
Yeah.
different people sort of view things
I-
different ways. I know a lot of people say that, oh, I've been learning with tabs for years, went to Rocksmith, and inverting the strings seems alien because it is totally different.
okay,
Some people see it as a totally different thing. Some people see it as the same thing. I mean, to me, I read.
Well-
I use the inverted strings on Rocksmith because to me it made more sense because I was reading it like tab. Other people see it as sort of just as if you're looking as like through the strings, as it were. So yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
the point is there
yeah,
is
I-
no right or wrong to it. It is just
Come on,
if you end up hitting the right strings,
Yeah.
it's doing the right thing.
Okay,
Um,
so then that
yeah,
actually opens up a question for me. Who all here actually uses inverted Rocksmith, not original Rocksmith? So, all right, so we've got two people here who use inverted. What is your experience with inverted? Because honestly, like I'm self-taught. I taught myself with tabs, but playing with tabs and playing with Rocksmith seem like two different entities to me because I can play Rocksmith with normal, but there are some people who can't play Rocksmith normally. Is it because of the tablet you're reading?
yes, kind of partly. Also chord diagrams. Chord
Okay.
diagrams
I
look
start.
the same way, just on their side, as Rocksmith does.
Okay,
I
all right.
started with the standard strings and then I moved to inverted strings actually. So I did the change
Why?
after a year plus of Rocksmith
Wow.
because
Why did
I
you wanna
wanted
change?
to have that. Because I wanted to have that. Well, have the option of having that connection between tabs and Rocksmith charts, and I found that to be useful, especially when I started charting, because the default set of how the charts are is the same way the tabs are, which is the inverted way. So everything kind of clicked. Yeah, there's sort of different languages, but when the script is closer together, it just helps me for some reason. I don't know why.
Learning
Okay.
It made
learning
me feel like
multiple
I
ways.
had a stroke.
Learning multiple ways
Yeah.
of interpreting the same information or two different languages for the same information for music is really powerful too. Like earlier, I said that scales
Yes.
is the thing I want to get better at. But at the end of the day, scales is really even just one way of looking at a broader sort of information, right? Which is at the end of the day, knowing where the right notes are anywhere on the neck. And scales are actually kind of like a smaller view of that. It's like where the right notes are at any given angle, but there's the same information in different ways. The caged system and God, what's the other one? Circle of fifths.
Yeah,
But like
I
it's the
have
same
no idea.
information. The same
are literally
information
speaking a
expressed
different language.
differently.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
no idea
and
what
the more
what-
different ways you can understand that information, the better understanding you have of it all in time. Yeah, totally get that.
For me,
want-
the one thing I regret not getting into earlier when it comes to music teaching is actually ear training. Just
okay.
training my ear to hear the different intervals, like hear one note and then immediately identify a perfect fifth, perfect fourth, like hearing those intervals, not necessarily knowing them, but just hearing them
Yeah.
on the instruments.
Is there anyone
it
here that
really
would say
is
that they're
knowing
pitch
them, though.
perfect
Hearing-
then?
Hearing is knowing. I do
No.
think that interval training is like a really important thing to do. I've done it on and off throughout my music career, and I feel like it's very powerful. What that is it's as simply an exercise where you hear two random different notes and you guess the distance between them, and over time
Yeah.
you kind of learn how to do it.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
That's good relative pitch.
I've dabbled in that, but not really sort of like gone much further than dabbling with it. The one that I really wish I could do is identifying chords. I'm terrible at identifying. Like,
Okay.
D sus 7 or
The
something.
closing point
Well,
for-
interval training is really good for that, actually, because it's the same thing, right? Like it's a matter of hearing multiple different intervals at the same time.
yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Venom?
the difficulty I have in that is identifying the separate notes that are in the chord to be able to go, oh, that's a and like that's like you know like.
so before we stay on this subject for approximately 10 hours, I want to close it up saying there are a lot of things that you can learn that are tools to help you understand Rocksmith better. And that is exactly what they're all about. For me personally, that's what they're all about. Okay, so shut the fuck up, everyone. Let's go to the next question.
Oh, we're going back. I thought we didn't go on the last question about first guitars or first
No,
instruments.
we've not done that yet.
No,
Oh, let me go get mine. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, you've still
Mine
got
is
your
in my
first
yeah,
one.
so
Mine's
that's awesome. Yeah,
Finally,
because
me-
that was one of because that was one of my questions, and it's kind of interesting because I don't have my original guitar nor bass anymore. But what was your first guitar or bass, and do you still have it?
My first
Starting with you,
guitar.
Gamut.
My first guitar was it was like a Telecaster knockoff, and I borrowed it from my brother. But then the same guitar that I use on stream, that like my first guitar that I ever owned myself, is the same guitar that I continue to use and have used for most of my 8 years on guitar. My first instrument ever was, I guess, like a piano when I was a kid, like a little keyboard.
your first guitar,
Sorry?
your Hagstrom was your Ultra Swede was your first guitar.
That's right. I've never owned more than one guitar. This is the same guitar I started like. I borrowed my brother's for a brief bit, but that was just like for the first year.
Right, go and get it. Let's have a look at it. Go, come
Yeah.
Come
Venom, by the way, it's
Griff.
Hagström, not.
Griff's back.
on. Oh my God,
You need to learn Swedish.
I have not touched this in like 2 years, but this is my first guitar.
still got strings on it. That's good.
Yeah, it's so out of tune. Oh my
Ooh.
God, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Elliot with a V. I do love a V.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
That was your
one.
first.
No,
So
it's my second guitar,
No.
but my first guitar is in
How would you
my
pronounce
parents'
it?
basement. This is an Epiphone Demon V. It's like a rip-off of a V, but yeah.
Oh, it's probably better than a Gibson V. So anyway, moving on.
Right.
Fred,
Yes,
how do you pronounce the Hagstrom?
Hagström.
Hagstrom.
I'm gonna start pronouncing it that way when people ask what my guitar is.
Hagström.
Hagstrom. All
Yep.
right, okay. Can do that probably.
Call it the
That's
ghost
close.
something in my eye and it won't leave.
That weird O with umlauts is like that's a sound actually.
Hagstrom.
That's unique Scandinavian vowel.
Hagstrom.
Hagstrom.
It's more of a huh. It's not a ha. It's a huh.
Yeah, of course I do, Mr. Wiz. Of course I do say it like a Norwegian. He's Swedish.
But he's got a super Swede. I love Gamut's guitar. I kind of fell in love with it when I first started watching him, and you know from watching Chainbrain and watching Gamet play Ghost, I was like, I need a fucking Phantoman more than my next breath.
Yeah.
This is happening. So, Griff, what was your guitar that you showed us?
That was an Esteban acoustic. I don't know if anyone remembers the infomercials. Yeah. It was the last thing my grandmother actually purchased before she had passed away. So that is one of those things that I cannot ever give up. I just never play it.
What about you, Red? What was your first? What guitar?
Might want to word that again.
That was the that was the horrible Squire that I broke to hell and back. But the one I actually played was a Jackson, the one that could actually be played properly. And my first bass was a horrible knockoff louder J bass that was set up like a fucking banana. It was unplayable. And I almost like said screw it, and then I think I got an LTD B50. I still have the neck of that one.
Wait,
It's on.
Griff, can you stand on the Esteban guitar like he does in the infomercial?
Oh hell no. That's more of a pride thing. Out of all the instruments that I own, I will never ever put them on the ground. So I love my baby.
In the infomercial, we'd be like, "You could stand on it."
Yeah, no, that's some bullshit. I had to replace that guitar 3 times before I finally got one that I was like, okay, maybe if I just super glue the parts together, they'll just stay together. And it works. All the parts are still together 20 years later.
Dave.
Fantastic.
Right, so I've basically got a bit of a story to tell here. I went through a few shit instruments to start with, but the one that I would call my first real guitar is my first V. But basically, because I started at the age of 11, had to play a classical guitar because that's what they teach 11-year-old kids. That's what they teach kids up until the age of 15, 16 in schools. And it turns out there is a reason for this. I found this out when I I was in a band throughout my 20s for most, and the other guitarist became a teacher, and then he explained to me this one little fact that basically when kids are learning in schools, parents want to know that their children are improving. And the only way to know if their children are improving is grades. And in the UK, the only way to get grades is playing classical guitar. So that's why all the school-age kids have to play classical guitar. Right.
So fucking AIDS, mate.
Yeah. So I had a bunch of shit guitars. I started on a 3/4 size classical guitar, had that for the first couple of years, then had a full size classical guitar for the next couple of years. Eventually, I did get an electric. I do wish that I hadn't gotten rid of that one because I basically my dad bought it off one of his friends, and this was your typical guy in his 40s, decided he wanted to learn to play guitar, decided it wasn't for him, so just had it lying about. So he sold it to my dad for me, and it was a little sort of Strat copy. It was kind of nice. It was like in a sunburst Strat, your typical sort of like looking thing. It was a cheap copy, wasn't great, wasn't too bad. Got rid of that, and in order to get what I thought at the time was an upgrade, but turned out to be an absolute piece of shit Encore. I took that basically when my guitar teacher finally said, right, you can start learning to play electric stuff. I was like, right, okay, I brought the guitar in. he took one look at it and he was like, "How the hell do you play as well as you do with a thing like that?" He said, "You're never bringing that thing in again. You can use mine from now on." And so,
That's awesome.
and so I used his guitar. It was a Mexican Fender Tele, and it was absolutely lovely. I fell in love with that guitar. So a couple of years later, my 18th birthday, I went to Denmark Street in London, which was at the time the place where all the guitar shops, and we were going looking for basically that, for a Mexican Fender Tele. And while we were there, I was trying out everything, absolutely everything, and to even to my own astonishment, the guitar that I fell in love with that day was a Gibson Flying V.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Like Fender Tele, Gibson Flying V, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And that was what I got on my 18th birthday. It cost about 500 quid more than we were expecting to pay on that day, of which I had to pay every penny back.
Of course. Many
I mean-
lawnmowers and
Yeah.
washing the dishes.
Paper
Back in
routes.
the
But
back in the 60s, I'm sure that that Gibson V was pretty good, and Gibson made
Yeah.
good guitars back in the 60s, obviously. Anyway,
But I mean, it was a '67 reissue. But yeah, that is what I consider my first proper guitar. Like I had guitars before that, but they were all shit.
where is it? Show us the V.
All right, 1 second.
Show us the V. Show
it,
us the V.
Get your V out for the lads.
Gonna get banned, guys.
Up your Viva. Or whatever they
Yes,
used to say.
get that V out. Get demonetized. Get banned immediately.
That's fine. No one really has this channel anyway.
Look at that thing, Jesus! That's a proper.
There we go.
that's-
That's the one that.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a proper Judas Priest guitar.
I can't wait for the day I own a
Um,
V. I want
that
a V
head-
so bad.
That headstock though.
I,
big. No, I like the headstock. It's
I-
like
Not for me.
the
I,
end
I
of it
do.
needs to be very.
I do also have an Epiphone 7-string. But what I love about the 67, this part of the fucking scratch, that really makes it. You have basically you got this version here, which doesn't have, and it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as good at all.
I think they both got their styles.
No, it doesn't.
The pickguard.
Yeah, I like both.
But yeah,
I do like that one better.
But I
No,
do just.
I-
This
I'm
is my baby.
the Jackson is everything that my being is. That thing is fucking awesome, and it's probably the best purchase that you've ever made, apart from. We won't talk about that on stream.
But
Anyway.
yeah, the Jackson felt like this when I first put it on. It felt like this, and
Yeah, it just felt right.
Yeah.
And that's what
I've-
guitar
I've-
buying should be about. You hold
I've-
that guitar in your hand and you're like, yeah, this is the one.
yeah, I've got other guitars that feel good. Up until I got the Jackson, this was the only guitar that felt like an extension of me when I put it on. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it just
Can you,
feels natural no matter what you do with it. It just feels natural.
Can you
That was.
show the Jackson more.
We got a
That's
raid.
I still love this
Oh,
more. than
hey,
anything.
readers.
Get the Jackson out, you bastard.
All right.
Well, we don't have
Now
a
it's
shout out
Robert
command
Dave
yet,
shows
I think.
guitars.
No, we don't have anything yet. We're barely like streaming, so bear with us.
No, we don't.
Jesus Christ.
We don't.
Wait, we're still
but, yeah,
streaming?
go follow Peyton later.
I'm just talking and drinking beer. You guys do what you gotta do.
Yeah. That's Jackson.
Wow,
Exactly.
Nice. That's the one we like.
that's some 80s.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fucking
that's a
sick.
fucking,
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, that's a beauty.
I'm not biased here, but that makes my fucking dick twitch. No, no,
Same.
yeah, exactly.
That guitar looks light as hell too. It looks like the type that Iron Maiden would throw up like 10 feet in the air and catch it.
Oh, God, the
It's-
day.
It's not as light as it looks because it's a through neck.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's actually quite
Oh,
heavy.
through neck.
But
Wow. Son of a bitch. I love through neck guitars. Anyway, next question. Or are we still on this? Oh yeah,
I can
sorry.
just quickly
Zil?
show mine. Yeah,
John,
I've got mine right here.
right. Okay, so let's
this-
do it out.
This was my very first guitar that I got from Gear for Music. It's a well trusted, definitely not Chinese off brand.
Wow.
Yo, that headstock looks so
can't
good.
read the brand name from here.
I love that headstock.
Really?
It's like
Why
a
is the
Strat knockoff,
Yes.
but it's not. It's
Oh.
still like a pretty solid knockoff.
The wood itself actually, I've had compliments again from the guy that I met from second year uni. He was always whenever he picked up my guitar, he's like, "Your neck's so soft." It was really fun to play, and you know this guitar, I like it. I think it's got like a really just clean look to it. Obviously, especially without the rusty strings on them. But in general, this is always going to be my baby. I think I want to hang this
Yeah.
up somewhere at some point. But
Get it restrung, get it played. Get
Get
it
it
restrung.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know.
Fuck that shit, man. It's your first guitar.
Yeah, get it restrung to drop a standard.
Set it up for.
All I would say to that is string it up, play it, and then you might just be reminding yourself of why you took the strings off to start with, or you might remind yourself why you liked it to start with.
Yeah, and if you get
I
it
don't know.
properly, it'll be an absolute fucking beast, mate.
Architect dedicated tuning guitar.
Compared, if you
If I was wanted a dad gad guitar, that's what I'd do.
oh, fuck you, gammit. Right. If you compare and contrast the guitar,
Evanescence only.
you've got an argument.
Evanescence only. Wake me up inside with this guitar.
You have two very different sounding guitars, is what I'm trying to say, and it
Yeah, it's
might
all about the range.
and it might complement some of the songs that you want to play better than
Yes.
your iPad. That's what I'm saying. So wow, we got really serious then. I'm gonna mute.
That's the
string
effect
it
when
up together.
that's the effect when everybody else stops speaking and you're still the only one going, and you pause.
Yes. Exactly.
Short Fest 3 had a few of those moments.
I'm pretty sure we just all like to sit in the suspense. That is our favorite thing. It's just like, all right, and we've said something, and let's just let it stew for a minute.
I am the master of suspense. Anyway, moving on to Toy Machine.
Moving on, yeah.
Yeah, my first guitar was
etc.
Yamaha Pacifica.
Ooh.
I bought it
Nice.
off my friend so he could buy a PlayStation, like not even 2, but the newer PlayStation. Like when they released like the PS1.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So like in 2002, he sold me his guitar and amp, and there was like a whammy bar for it, and I never put it on. Yeah, it's like in my parents' basement. But yeah, I remember I played that like heavily, and then I like kind of hit a big wall, and I was like, Guitar Hero is more fun. So it rotted in the basement. And then Rocksmith came out, and then I bought that fee, and then I bought a bass, and then I bought. And then I bought a classical, and then I bought my Telecaster, and so on, so on. 5 guitars later.
What made you invest into the V straight away, going from Guitar Hero then?
So the reason is my friend was in film school with someone, and his dad owned a mastering studio, and there was this V guitar in their apartment, and he had been wanting to sell it for a while. And I was like, I'll buy it if you put in a kill switch, because one of them was like in tech, like an engineer. So I was like, if you put in the button so I could play like
Rage Against the
Buckethead.
Machine. Oh.
So I want, it's like the worst kill switch ever. So like there's like some early like videos of me on YouTube like trying to like use it like Buckethead, and it's like really, really bad.
Can we unearth those footage at some point?
It's I have to find like one of them that I actually use it. Probably in one of my band's like songs. I use it at the end. But yeah, like for some reason, apparently I think the guy from Our Lady Peace, it might have been his guitar, like one of them. There was like talk about that, but I bought it for like $200, and it was like my first big like instrument purchase. But then eventually it just kind of like it also sat in the basement for a while. But once Rocksmith came out, then like in 2011, that's when like I got really into it again. And now I played a V on Rocksmith for like a long time, and then I bought this $89 Squire over here. This thing is like rotten. It's from Indonesia, but like if you get it set up right, it's pretty good. And I bought it just so I could sit down and play, because playing sit down with
I like
V
that.
is not.
Who's that from? It's not Fender, is it?
No, it is. It's a Fender Squire Strat.
Oh, okay.
But it's an Indonesian one. I bought it for like $89 used. It's not bad, but it's like grimy right now.
I mean, the only good thing about trying to play a V sat down is the amount of innuendos you can get out of it. Like I had to take my V into work one day. I say into, so I was taking it to a place in town to fix, and my boss walked into the office just as I was saying the phrase, "Of course, if you've got a strap on, you don't have to wedge it between your legs."
I do like a nice strap on. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Let's
my
move on.
favorite-
Don't think about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. He's turned his
me
cam off. Oh no.
Actually, the next question is about strap-on.
How did you know?
You can find the rest of this this podcast over our OnlyFans.
premium Snapchat.
So
Oh yeah, absolutely, all over the place.
My first guitar was a Squire Strat. I went to an auction house, and it was on sale, and I bought it for £50. And I didn't have a pick at the time, so I tried learning Highway to Hell with a penny, with a British penny.
I've done that before. Use a coin as a pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Brian
my-
May's been
Brian
doing
May.
it for years.
Yeah, that explains a lot, Dave. Anyway, so that was my first guitar, and then I was really into it, and I was like, I want to get something special. So I saved up a lot of money and bought a BC Rich Warlock custom Mick Thompson signature, which was the black one with the R on the headstock. So the R designates whether it's a custom shop. And it was actually, so they did two different types, right? They did the Mick Thompson signature, which was like a fake signature on the back of the headstock. And then they did the R custom, which was his guitar, and it was signed on the back. Now, when I gave up guitar, I kept it for a long time in the the old coffin cases. If you're familiar with Rich, we had the old coffin cases. I had a proper one, and I sold it to a dude, and it's like one of the biggest regrets that I've ever done, because looking back now as an actual guitarist, not a singer who tried to be a guitarist, but an actual guitarist, I'm like, fuck me, that neck was so fast, and it was so nice to play, and it was full mahogany, so it's just pure metal. I would love to have had that guitar right now, and it's one of my biggest regrets. But yeah, that was my proper first guitar. Don't no one cry. all right?
Fantastic.
I'm trying to hold it back. Don't worry. I might need to
I
leave
thought
for a
you
Sucking
might
second.
the tears back into my eyes.
Someone's cutting onions.
I can't believe I haven't gotten a second guitar yet.
I'm
so
going to be back
committed
in
to
just
this.
a moment.
Yeah,
And I've
that's
spent
wild.
like I
Well-
spent like 3 times more on my drum kit than I've done on my guitar, even though I spend 3/4 of the time on the guitar lately.
You need to buy a
That's why I'm
Legator.
wearing glasses.
Not
No, you
sponsored.
need to buy a
I'm-
Kiesel. Like
I'm
everyone.
looking at a Schecter, honestly. I think I'm gonna go
Uh-oh.
Schecter for my first big one.
There you go.
Machine, I had such a bad time with Kiesel, like a really, really rough time with Kiesel that put me off massively. But didn't put me off so much that I don't appreciate what they build. Like the guitars they build are fucking amazing, but their customer service is probably one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life. And I was ready to put around $5,000 down on a guitar, and they would not entertain me at all. They just wouldn't want. They didn't want to sell me a guitar.
Because of where you live, or
No,
I've
Just
heard similar stuff. If you look at negative reviews on Kiesel for a lot of their stuff, it tends to be quite. They just never responded back to any email documents or anything. It was just lack of communication is one of the biggest.
so but no, I'm not taking away anything from Kiesel. Right, there's some of their guitars that they make are fucking absolute masterpieces.
Oh yeah, don't get me
If you-
wrong, I love them.
Yeah, if you look at Chamberlain's new guitar, I was like, oh my god, Jesus Christ, that's fucking incredible. But the problem is, I can't get invested in something that I don't believe in. I can't get invested in something that, like, it's not even about the money; it's about who you are. They will only sell you. It's like Ferrari. Kiesel are like the Ferrari of the guitar world. Like you have to own 5 Ferraris before they'll even sell you a brand new one, and that
Before they answer your email.
and it was a really bad time, and I went through, like, obviously Chamberlain's a good friend of mine, and we went through the whole thing like together, and he was just very disjointed about it. It was obviously very, like, you know, when you're half and half about something, like you really appreciate something, but something's dragging you back. Now, from what I know now, Kiesel have sorted their shit out because their customer service manager is fucking shit. He's AIDS. He is an absolute cancer on the whole fucking operation.
Wait,
And if we got rid of him, that would be the best thing ever. What was that?
Stream
That
not
was,
sponsored
that,
by
was some,
Kiesel.
that was some strong words.
Sorry. I will
yeah,
always
yeah.
appreciate what Kiesel make. But for me, Legator, the way that we dealt with Shredfest 2 and their kind of like interaction with our community, that's kind of what I'm all about. Like, you know, that's where I lie. But I will always have an appreciation for Kiesel. Massive.
Yep.
Where's
Oh,
Dave? Anyway, next one.
I think Dave's video. but-
Yeah, moving on.
I'm just gonna grab a
Dave
drink
said
quickly.
that he would be
Oh,
right back.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
so
he
Okay.
said BRB and then muted and I'm off.
He's getting another beer, I
He has a
guarantee
bunch
it.
of Schechters now. I've been wondering if she's secretly getting sponsored by them. Because like people keep giving her
Yo, does
guitars.
Schecter want to give me money on a Schecter guitar to show off,
what
please?
you-
Anyone?
what
You need to get a little sister that screams. Can you do that?
I've got one
They're
of
gonna pay
those.
for that.
I got one of those. I can just call my sister and be like, "Hey, can you be the Kate to my Audrey, please?" Dude, she fucking do it in a heartbeat too.
Okay, to my Audrey.
for Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do it. Just got to teach her how to play bass again. That's the only reason I play bass is because my sister was learning bass previously, and I got her bass when she was like, "I'm done. I don't want it anymore."
I'm ready.
Oh, that,
Now, my next instrument that I'm buying is a bass,
Okay.
and I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you
that's
some
best.
insight. All right, don't get too excited, Fred. All right, no, I see. I see you.
Hey, there he is.
Well, my next my next instrument is going to be a bass, and I'm waiting for Legator to release it. And it's going to be a headless 5-string.
Headless bass.
Yeah.
I
called
don't.
the
Signature thing
No,
about
no, no,
basses
no,
are their
no.
headstocks.
Rexifed has that.
Headless bass. Count
don't
me out
know.
on that one.
I feel like I'm not a big headless guitar guy, but I actually feel like if anything, it makes a little more sense on bass because of how chunky the neck is.
And it also looks cool as fuck on string. So
Oh wow,
I-
Chainbrain got 10,000.
I'm with you though, Venom
No
Hammer.
shit. Did
I
he
like-
actually make 10,000?
Shit.
It's 10,000.
I might actually be getting a
Isn't it?
bass for my next because I broke my bass in the move.
Oh no.
No.
system.
It might be repairable, but I don't have any fucking clue about that.
Right, speak to Rock. She'll be able to direct.
She might be able to help me get it functional.
But
So-
that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a bass.
We
I'm
lost
really
Elliot.
excited about bass. Really excited about learning about bass. And I really want a cool fucking ass bass with some nice fishmans in it. That's
I
gonna
feel
make,
that.
Oh,
gonna make me sweaty.
yeah.
I'm looking for the
Too bad.
bass is probably what I'm gonna get after I save up for the guitar.
But did I just hear correctly? Chainbrain's hit his 10k subs.
Yes, he
Yeah,
hit his
like-
10K.
Shout out for that fucking.
The absolute madness.
Fucking yes.
Yeah.
Mad.
I will be
That's
right back.
fucking mad.
But yeah, yeah. I have a bass guitar in my possession at the moment. It's not mine. I borrowed it, but it is in my possession. I do attempt to play it from time to time. I won't ever profess to be a bass player.
Mm.
I am simply a guitarist with a bass guitar. There is a big difference there, as most bass players should be
Yes.
able to attest to.
I think it works pretty much backwards as well. A lot of the bass Rocksmith streamers, like Red here, you got, will pick up the guitar. I'm pretty sure you have a guitar that you'll play from time to time, on a rare occasion.
Yes.
But you know,
Yeah, I do.
if you'll still say, oh, you're a bassist. Yeah, you'll have the guitar there
Oh,
in the
yeah.
background. Like it's up for grabs if necessary.
I mean-
but by virtue,
Yeah.
you're all in all.
And a kind of interesting thing coming from a bass perspective, I'm way more interested in doing rhythm guitar. Like lead guitar doesn't interest me at all.
Okay.
Like I find it to be not my thing. But that might be because I come from the rhythm section. I feel more comfortable there, and I get to play a little more melody, but it's still heavily rhythm based.
Damn rhythm.
I would make a joke that it's something about you not being able to play sweeps, but I can't play sweeps either, so I'm not really in an
You can't
opportunity
slap,
to
so
make a
there
joke.
is that.
I could sweep the front of my apartment. That's probably about it.
You come in and sweep the snow.
Yeah. But that's interesting,
Okay.
Red. I mean, that's a cool thing. Like you've come from the rhythm section, but what about drums? Like you're a rhythm dude.
Hmm.
What about drums?
Oh yeah, no,
Oh, but I love the drums. I have not really much desire to play them, but a good like lock-in with the drummers, listening to drums, listening to how the drums play, especially the kick and the snare, is kind of the bread and butter of playing bass, really.
Yeah, I'll be
So-
honest. There's been times in my band where my drummers turned around and said,
dude,
"Oh, did you like the way I put that fill in there? Or if I did that?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, mate. I'm only actually listening to the beats, like, the fills and everything else. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to those."
Like I mean,
I don't remember where I.
Sorry, Red. Go on, carry on.
how
Yeah,
come?
I mean, I don't remember where I picked that up, but one of the easiest way to create that locked-in feel when grooving with a drummer is to like stop short the notes played on the snare backbeat, and it really gets everything moving really nicely.
The
So
because like being
yeah.
a singer,
Yeah.
and being obviously a rhythm guitarist, I'm always listening to everything for cues. Like, because cues, when you're in a band, cues are everything. They will tell you what the fuck is going on at that actual moment. And it's one of the fortunate things for me as a singer to appreciate every single fucking person that's in the band. And it's amazing feeling. I know us singers have a bad rap for going, oh yeah, I've got my microphone. I brought my kit in. Yeah. And then you watch the fucking guitarist and the bassist bringing all their shit in. No, that wasn't me. I was all over. Sorry. Everyone, like when you're in a band, like in a proper band, everyone is everything.
Yeah.
Like at the same time. And it's fucking, and that is the kind of key what makes being in a band amazing. Because no, it is. It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling. Like when everyone is like absolutely on top of their game, like doing everything.
When every single piece is an awesome, like in itself, you know, and then like it comes together to create something so much more than each individual awesome piece.
Yeah, and when you're on stage, when that happens, it's fucking an amazing feeling. It's absolutely amazing.
I miss being in a band so hard.
Analogy about the house. I really like the analogy about a house in that sense. The drums is like the concrete foundation. It's there. It's rock solid. The bass is like the wooden skeleton on top. The guitars are like the walls, and then the vocalist is the interior.
Director, decorator.
No, but just the interior. So like,
no,
you can't have a house without an interior.
I don't know. You say the guitars are like the walls. The rhythm guitarist is the walls. The lead guitarist is the car parked out the front.
Where's the keyboardist?
Flashy enough to turn heads, but
yeah, it might be a Skoda, might be a Ferrari. But...
keyboardist the toilet.
Jesus Christ! Right, next question.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, we have questions.
Yeah, we do.
Apparently,
I almost forgot.
Who needs them, honestly?
There's a structure.
So somewhat, but like, I'm curious to know about your musical influences. Like, what your early influences, your current influences, like, what inspires you to play?
Gamut.
Oh, someone else take first this time. Why am I first all the time? Someone else go.
Because you're at the top left. Literally only that reason.
If you insist. Well, my so okay, my influence is a bit of a complicated question because going back to earlier, I originally did not want to be a drummer when I became a drummer. My influences were Karinkatan Fox on YouTube playing like Final Fantasy music and shredding it to oblivion. And even just like really basic white boy kid answers like Megadeth and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jean Frusciante. But then like over time it definitely evolved. I started when I got into prog, that became like a really big source of influences for me. My drums and guitars influences are also just like totally different. Like on drums, I definitely lean a lot more prog with people like Brand Daler from Mastodon, who also sings while doing all that crazy shit, which is insane to think about.
Whoa.
The guy from King Crimson, whose name I can never remember. I'm terrible with names. I'm like, these are the musicians I revere the most. I don't know their names, but these are the best.
Same.
Michael Giles, is it? No, Robert Fripp's the guitarist. It might be Michael Giles.
Okay,
maybe.
We're talking guitarist.
Was he the one that did the Enter Sandman cover recently?
No, that's
I don't know.
Robert
I did not hear about that.
That was
with his wife.
Oh no, that was his wife's nipples. Yeah.
That was so bizarre.
Very big in the UK.
So just to rail off the names, Neil Peart of Rush, Thomas Pridgeon of Mars Volta, And then on guitar lately, if I go for like lately, I've been paying a lot of attention. I've been playing. It comes down to your influence. Really comes down to at the end of the day what you play a lot, right? And what do I play a lot lately? I guess Lamb of God. I guess like I'm trying to think of guitarists that like have influenced me in a major way lately. Opeth for sure. Opeth's guitarist, Michael.
Michael
Also
Ackerfeld.
vocals. Yeah.
He's
Bill
Yeah,
Bruford, that's right. That's
that-
right. That was their first yes.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Isn't
that's
that Åkerfeldt or something like that?
sorry.
Oh, I just mispronounced English people mispronouncing. I think it's Swedish name, so there's that.
Don't jump.
What is it? Tell me the proper pronunciation
How
so
do
I
you
can
say
never
his
mispronounce it again.
Yeah, I think it's something like Åkerfeldt.
Really?
I might be
It's not
Norwegian
Michael
playing that.
Ackerfeld?
Åkerfeldt.
You damn Norwegian poisoners with your minds.
Fantastic.
All right, so
It's really cool.
yeah, so in influences. So who influences me is basically bands that are also singing bands. So you've got your Boston, you've got your Green Day, you've got your Journey, you've got your Rush. Like anything that I can try and play in the same time are what really influences. I'm sure that all of you have been in my stream a few times, and I'm usually playing and singing at the same time.
I don't want to interrupt you. Your audio's
Oh,
just cutting out quite a
yeah,
bit.
Just clipping a tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, let me fix that. I'm so sorry. Ryan's streaming behind me, so I'm trying to
That's okay.
cut out his audio as well. Is that better?
That's
Yeah,
better,
yeah,
yep.
that's better.
Okay, all right, perfect. Yeah, but mostly singing bands are what heavily influence me and my playing and my play style.
I love when people stream Rocksmith and sing at the same time. It's magical, and I feel like it's sadly uncommon for how fun it is.
It is.
Mr. Zelk
yeah.
down there.
I feel like people leave my stream if I do it, so I try not to do it. Even though it's really fun.
But I had a policy for ages of if anybody flamed my singing, I would do it more. And now I'm just good at singing. So like it's a good policy, really.
I was there at that time, Gamut. I was like encouraging.
Remember those days?
You know this.
I feel like the more I do it, the worse I get.
The
Yeah,
thing is, regardless as well, I think
it's-
of the skill, if you're having fun with it as well, if you're really grooving with the song and you're having fun with you're blasting the guitar anyway, no one's gonna care if you're like slightly off key when it comes to the singing. They can tell that you're just like fully invested. And
Totally true.
I put that sometimes back into my
You
streams.
should know Zelk.
I'm just like, I'm gonna tear the shit out of my throat right now for the meme and regret in 20 minutes time. But
Yeah, and if anybody comes into the stream and says stop singing, no, get out.
And like
yeah,
I
if-
used
From a
Like,
singer's
I will apologize.
voice, by the way. You've actually got a really good voice. And I'm quite sad that the whole Twitch Sings thing fucking went into the trash can. Because I would have loved to have done a duet with you, man. I've done duets with Gamma.
yo, don't be sad.
Your voice
We
is
can
also
still
cutting
we
out a
can
little
still-
bit, Venom.
I remember your duos.
We can
out.
still do duets is the thing. Like they took away this one stupid singing platform, but don't be sad because I guarantee you that the Twitch Sings community is so massive that there's gonna be a replacement in like less than a month. Count it.
Can you
I
hear me
mean,
all-
it's been almost a month since Twitch Sings went down, so I don't know. Like they took down their Discord and everything, so I don't foresee
Right.
anything coming.
Wow.
You don't though because I met a lot of streamers through Twitch Things, right? Like through the duet feature, and like I've
I'm
kept
mostly
tabs on what they're
saying,
doing.
you know,
And they're,
it's
like, still
mostly
singing now.
it's mostly just a copyright nightmare, and we as a group right here know exactly how that feels. So it's one of those. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to shit like that.
Right, let's not get into a DMCA. carry on with the next person, Dave.
What we're talking about influences.
Yes.
I've got a
Yes.
one-word answer to this one. Do you want the one-word answer, or do you want me to waffle?
Matalaka.
Dave, what?
Akadaka.
It is not Matalak.
Kiss.
No, Dave. But I have one question. What the fuck does your T-shirt say? Because all I can read is Judas Priest, and it
It says
does not
Hoots Club.
Hoots Club. Right.
Oh, is that what that
It is
says?
a takeoff on Judas Priest, though. It is parodying
It
that,
is.
right?
It is a
Yes.
takeoff from Judas Priest.
I was like,
It's
fucking brain
it's
was
the real Hootsman. It's the Hootsman from
The hot
Glory
dog.
Hammer.
Gamuts.
That's a Glenn Fricker shirt too, isn't it?
Yes. I mean,
Boy,
I have the
Glenn.
rule number 2 shirt, but I didn't wear it on stream.
But yeah, my number one influence is I don't know if you can read that.
Dean?
It's
Oh, dime bag.
That's a Dean.
Dimebag.
Okay.
One word answer for number one
Oh.
influence. It is Dimebag. Like I have
Fantastic.
other influences, but they are pretty much sort of mainstream metal bands of the 90s. You Maidens,
Yeah.
probably more 80s for that one. I got into Megadeth a bit later on, but yeah, Dime was the big influence on my playing.
I guess I missed a big one too. Like Buckethead was the big one for me.
Yeah, for me, that would be my
Praise,
answer.
praise be upon him.
That's why I play guitar pretty much.
All
In
right,
fact,
so-
actually, there's
No.
one influence that like if you've watched my stream, you might know this one, but it's not a band. It's a TV theme.
Yeah,
Oh,
here we go.
Anybody familiar with Red Dwarf?
Yeah.
well, if anyone's watched your stream, then they should be, mate.
Yeah.
What is Red Dwarf? I've never heard.
They play it in Canada all the time.
Watch
on
it.
it's-
Come out.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi sitcom, but it has one of the best theme tunes ever for a sci-fi sitcom, or for any sitcom, or for any sci-fi, for like for anything
Is
on
that on
telly.
Rocksmith?
It is on Rocksmith.
Oh.
It's under the name of Howard Goodall, who was the guy who wrote the piece. And yeah, it's just the red dwarf theme, and it's got some EQ going to it that's just out of this world, which is what it should be for a sci-fi theme. But I've been obsessed with that piece of music for about 30 years. Like, and yeah, I've recorded covers of it from time to time over the last sort of like 20 years. I've recorded various different versions of it, and I've gotten closer and closer to the sound, but I don't think I'll ever replicate the actual sound of it. And yeah, I've just been obsessed with it for like nigh on 30. And yeah, that is one of the few pieces that I would say made me want to really play.
I love those
it-
pieces of music that really just like captivate you and like
Yeah.
For me, I said before like King Crimson's drummer, but also their first album is like that for me. Like that's like my favorite album ever, and I've just been listening to it endlessly ever since I heard it as a kid.
But now that I think
Fantastic.
about it, the theme to the X-Men cartoon, I remember I always wanted to learn how to play that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, that one.
Somebody has charted that as well.
Yeah,
I know it's
myself,
there.
I've got that.
Yeah.
And also, I think that like Terminator and Killer Instinct, those were the first
Dun-dun,
distinctive
dun-dun.
guitar pieces that I remember being like, yeah, I wish I could play that.
But yeah. I remember first stumbling across the X-Men theme on Customers Forge, and oh my god, that's it.
Somebody did it.
Right.
Oh, that was a nice segue into Time Machine, though.
But I think you didn't say who your influence was, Red Lion. You got skipped, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true,
me?
yeah.
No. Well, it's all of the classics like Steve Harris, Dave Ellis, and Frank Bello is one of my absolute favorite bassists of all time. And I mean, you all know Judas Priest bass lines aren't the most interesting, but Ian Hill from Judas Priest, fantastic inspiration because he's fucking on time, in key every single time. There is nothing problematic about his, and that should be a priority as a bassist to be really reliable. And yeah, I'm semi-quoting Glenn Fricker, but he's fucking right about that. You should
I think
be
that's
fucking steady as a rock.
I think that's very true in general of like musicians. Like you got to like there's the showstoppers, there's the lead people that jump out in front and like steal the attention, but like you can't have a whole band of people like that. And like it says a lot
No,
when
but-
you can like just be the perfect texture all the time to complement
There's-
whatever is going on in the spotlight.
There's
Yes,
a quote from
but-
Futurama which I think covers what I think for my favorite bass players, and that is when you do things right, nobody will be convinced you've done anything at all. It's so true for bass players.
Yeah.
Like if you take the bass out, you suddenly miss
Absolutely.
it. But when they're doing things right, like people are just focusing on the lead guitar and that and the other and the singer, and
Exactly.
the bass player's there just to make sure everything is
Yeah.
working perfect.
Yeah.
I think
Really
a
like
lot of people that complain about that haven't really ever seen live music either, though, because I feel like you really get a feel for the bass in live music because you're quite literally feeling it through the speakers. So you get that, you get the bass tone resonate through the whole atmosphere of the place.
That's what makes
Absolutely. You
So-
immediately when the mix is out for some reason, like is only guitar and kick drums, that is really something missing there. Unless you're listening to black metal, which you're on your own. But that's a completely different story. But in general, musical genres that I really like to listen to and play and gives me inspiration to play music, thrash metal and folk metal. I mean, it's not a surprising answer, but that's really what I like. And I love the folk metal influences because you get folk music from all over the place: Finnish, Irish, Polish, Russian, Indonesian. All of these things just coming into metal and just doing something unique with it. And we need something unique in metal. And I think folk metal is one of the most inspiring genres.
Do you know what? I've just decided there needs to be metal Morris dancers.
Can you imagine? Just this 87-year-old Doris in a Morris outfit.
So, Time Machine, what are your main inspirations, my dude?
Yeah, so Buckethead is definitely what got me to actually try to play guitar because I'm not.
I mean, I love KFC, and the guy promotes that shit. So
it's a twofer, and also like stuff like Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead and like Square Pusher and just like in general trying to sound like video games but like usually like when I play heavy stuff I'm just trying to sound like Dillinger Escape Plan or Opeth, like, but mostly Dillinger Escape Plan because I just try to sound like a broken fax machine. So that's mostly like what I like to like when I'm jamming and stuff like that. But like the stuff that I like to play, I like to play like a lot of pop punk, which is kind of like weird, I guess, because that was more like being a teenager.
Kind of weird, says the Descendants shirt wearer.
Yeah, but they're like melodic, like 80s, like hardcore, like Dead Kennedys and stuff like that. But like every single stream, I end up playing All Time Low and like Avril Lavigne and New Glory, and so like, it's just,
Yeah, that's super weird coming from the Death Grips fan.
Yeah,
I like it. I think you've got a pretty fucking varied taste in music, and that kind of shows in your stream. Every time I've watched you, anyway, it's always been like pretty like out there kind of shit that I've never heard before.
I like to try to force my music taste on people sometimes, and like I find so like I find
relate to
when
that.
you come to my stream, like I'm not gonna be the type that's gonna like, no offense to the people who do it, but like Like I'm not gonna like play like 7 Sabaton songs in a row, even though like it's really fun to play. I'd rather like like play like Frank Zappa or like some other band that like nobody like really like goes to like when there's like no giving requests. So
Dude, we're like fucking yin and yang. Me and you are like you're like oh yeah, I won't play that fucking Sabaton song, but I'll play Frank Zappa and fucking Descendants and shit. And I'm like, you playing that fucking Descendants shit?
Yeah, no, we get back into the Sabaton. But like also like sometimes I'll play like 7 Ghost songs in a row because it's so fun. Like they're like
Getting
a
a spooky
perfect
mood.
band. There's like some bands that are just like perfect for Rocksmith. Even if you don't even like their music, you just play the charts. You're like
right, my amount of fun that I have in Rocksmith is so related to how good the charts are. And if a band just consistently has good charts, I just like that band.
I disagree, Mr. Gummer.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, conversely, are there any bands that you like that you ever play in Rocksmith, even though they have terrible charts?
No, but I don't.
Aha.
All right.
I will interject here and say that I won't play any Pantera
I was
customs.
gonna say.
Okay.
Because Pantera customs are just bad. I've made one.
I mean, the
and
Pantera officials
I'll put my hand
aren't
up and
great
say
either.
that's bad as well. It was early on in my making of customs. So yeah.
Like people
no,
play Floods just because it's Floods. We all know the chart isn't that great, but it's like there's some like the square hammer chart has gone through like 5 different revisions, but it was still one of the top downloaded Ghost songs. There's some songs definitely where
this has some longevity with me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, and like there are songs.
Or like
There are
Mariana
songs
Cross.
that have like been like done that I've literally started charting, and like they do an okay job, an okay enough job that I don't feel compelled to finish my chart. But at the same time, it's like, oh, you fuck up these 2 or 3 parts so badly.
Oh my god!
I know that one.
Damn it, you couldn't finish your bank. It's horrendous. Your motivation to chart stuff.
I'm getting there. I'm distracted with YouTube videos lately. That's my current love.
Your charts are fucking amazing, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, can you just actually chart, dude? Like, what the fuck? Can you actually just upload the charts you complete and then never upload for some reason?
Fucking horrendous. Anyway, on to me.
Oh, funny.
Yep.
Yeah. My influences are probably, well, I don't know what he's called. So the lead guitarist of Ghost.
I was gonna say, I hear you like Ghost.
You hear like Ghost? Yeah. Ghost is my bag, and it's always been my thing.
Do they have assigned names, or are they just all nameless ghouls?
Yeah,
I think they're just all nameless ghouls.
They have names then.
I'll give you a little bit of information for the EP. For the EP that they did, Dave Grohl was the drummer and rhythm guitarist for Ghost for a little bit. But
wait, he was on rhythm guitar too?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just drumming.
But I mean,
if you're hiring Dave Grohl, you gotta get your money's worth.
As far as things go, isn't it just Tobias Forge who writes everything? So that
correct,
like Trent Reznor, and then just like do this. It's the organization of Ghost.
Yeah. So in terms of inspiration, it doesn't matter who's playing the instrument. The guy who wrote it was Tobias Forge.
I have a hard time believing that though. Like going to their live show and seeing how the ghouls are so like individual in their performances. Like it feels like there might be more like participation from the band than Tobias would have you believe.
I'd probably say that like they're given. Sorry, I don't. I'll let you go. Sorry.
let me just say this one thing. Right. You can have a direction in a band, but you can still put your fucking everything into that. Like your personal perception of what you need to play into that fucking project. And
Right,
that-
like if
Yeah.
he's
that's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah,
if
and that's
he's
what I was
if-
going to say.
if Tobias
Yeah,
is like really ringleading like that hard, because like you can tell that it's Dave Grohl on the If You Have Ghost EP. You can tell in his performance for sure.
that was a different project, and it was something that Tobias invited Dave to do. Like, and you can tell, oh my god, when you listen to I'm Marionette, right? You can hear that drum beat from Dave Grohl a million miles away. Anyway,
And you know he wrote it too, right? Like it comes through.
so anyway, my influence comes from Ghost. It also comes from a lot of the stuff that I listen to and play in Rocksmith comes from Ella Holopainen, who is the lead guitarist of Amorphis.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
That is the stuff. I love to play stuff that is not too shreddy, but has feeling, and I can put my feeling on top of that. That's what I'm trying to achieve at the moment. I know my skill set. I know how I play, but I can put my emotion into something so simple so it sounds very personal to me. That's what I try to do. My other main influence, strangely, recently, has come from Vexing Hex, who I find are amazing. Like they're like Ghost mixed with the fucking Beach Boys. If you listen to fucking Pet Sounds and you listen to a little bit of Black Sabbath and a lot of Ghost, then you've got Vexing Hex.
I've heard a little bit of their stuff. I like them too.
And the Chris, who is the lead singer and guitarist, his stuff, like his solos, resonate with me, and that's what it's all about. That's what music's all about, especially being a guitarist or any kind of fucking musical instrument player. Stuff that resonates with you is everything. And Vexing Hex is probably my main influence at the moment that really resonates with me. Anyway, Zelk.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hiya.
All right. Well, there's not particularly a band or a musician, let's say, that got me thinking, wow, what an amazing guitarist. If I could ever be anything like this, or if I could dream to potentially be like this in the future, that's what I'm going for. That's my goal. I've never really done that, and I think that's really really put it into like perspective. Anytime anyone comes onto my stream, they're like, oh yeah, the so-and-so guitarist. Pretty much what Gambit said at the beginning here as well. It's like, I'm awful, like truly awful at remembering people's names of guitarists and stuff, or even just for the first time hearing their name as a guitarist, I'm gonna forget that immediately. But even at that point, I'm still like, oh, that's brand new information for me. But I guess there are a bunch of different influences still, even if none of them were to say, oh, this is what's gonna try and kick or pioneer my ambitions. I've actually just created a small list in the chat box of a few, but I think one that really got me into like listening to metal on my own terms rather than what people were requesting me to listen to, like Slipknot back in the day, a little bit of Korn here and there, some Lamb of God, but not particularly too much, I think, at that point. But Trivium was one that I found on my own, and a lot of my friends hadn't known about them at the time. So for me, that felt like I had a little bit more of a connection to it, because it was something that I personally bonded with, that I knew that I was bonding with, not just because I was trying to fit in with the cool kids or anything. And even to this day, Trivium have still released, they've released bangers after bangers when it comes to their albums. All the new music that comes out, every time I try and play through it, especially through Rocksmith, I found myself learning something new about them that they can release. And this is something that I want to try and take into making music myself as well, is you can't really identify Trivium as a particular subgenre of metal, because they encompass so many of those subgenres in each album, and it's such a niche little change in between each one of them as well. It's not particularly that they're jumping from one subgenre specifically to a really drastic other change. I think probably one of the biggest changes that they did have was Silence in the Snow album in 2015. Which was just a little bit more of a more chill version of Trivium, but it was still very much like Hallmark Trivium. And when it comes to music that still really passionately inspires me, you got bands like Sabaton and Powerwolf that I'm sure some people here know that I'm a big fan of. Every time I play one of them,
expected to hear the name Powerwolf.
Yeah, I was like, I was just gonna talk about
Holy fucking shit! Don't get me started about Powerwolf. I fucking love that band. They everything, right? So I've only kind of started to get.
No. They have one really big flaw. No bassist.
Fuck the bassist.
No live
He's
bassist, anyway.
Well,
yeah.
their keyboardist
to
does
Doors.
the bass part.
The keyboardist is a fucking maniac.
Nice.
If you see him live, it's always fun, really fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
The reason I've got
They do
Powerwolf
have
recently-
bass. It's not a bass guitarist.
Yes, but the reason I've got into Powerwolf recently is not just because the charts are super fun to play, but
They really are.
yes, they are. The ambience and the presence that the fucking keyboardist gives to every single song makes every single song sound fucking epic. It sounds like Castlevania on acid. And some of the songs that they do, and this is fucking thanks to Zelk for doing that massive, insane, legendary set that he did at Fest. I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Jesus Christ. And I started I started digging a little bit deeper. Started digging into the fucking
PI Venom Hammer here.
Yeah, what are these guys about? What makes them special? And I was like, holy shit, I'm fucking done. I'm hooked.
Sometimes I have trouble getting up in the morning, and then I'm just here in the back of my mind, resurrection.
By your erection.
By erection.
I mean
And I'm ready. And I find
vocalist is just
Resurrection's a
that
great
vocalist is just an
holy shit is by far not their best fucking stuff that I've discovered personally. I've been on a, I'm not gonna lie, I've been on a personal discovery tour. Powerwolf and
don't get me started with Voyages.
Jesus Christ, Catholic in the morning, Satanist at night is a fucking amazing song. And so is Incense and Iron.
Incense and Iron's fucking great one.
Oh yeah.
Thank my brother and legend here, Red, for introducing me. I tell you what, Red, you don't know this, but that song, when you requested that song in my stream, that was the impetus for everything that I've done for Powerwolf right now. When I heard that song and I played it, and
awesome.
when I heard that song and you requested it and I played it, and I was like, fuck this shit, fuck Ghost, fuck Amorphis. Let's get balls deep in some fucking Powerwolf right now. Let's go. And that's how it happened. So
yeah, I was waiting for someone to chart that one.
Thank you so much for chanting that. It's one of my favorite Powerwolf songs.
like
I
the
didn't
song
chant
about the
that.
werewolves.
Well, whoever did is a
Which
legend,
one?
and you are a legend.
Exactly.
Good job, Mr. Charter.
What did you chant then?
It's like
You
5 of
chant-
them, at least.
You charted some Powerwolf, didn't you, Red?
It was Buckwash, wasn't it?
No, I haven't charted this. No, I haven't. Yeah, because I haven't charted a single Powerwolf
Yeah.
song.
Zelk
tried
called
to-
me out on the last Shredfest.
Uh-oh.
Was it last Shredfest or was it one?
No.
When did you play Powerwolf? You played Night of the Werewolves. And you-
Shredfest 2, yeah.
Yeah, and you complained about the
That was amazing.
the clean tone.
That was amazing, and he was watching, and that was even better.
Yeah,
I love
I
a bit-
made that chart. But
Yeah,
I,
it was
I,
amazing.
I was proud of that chart because I had to do it all by ear. There was
Well-
no chart on on Ultimate Guitar or anything. I had to chart it all out by ear. Tabbed it out
I
first,
think
charted it.
the chart the chart itself, looking at it, perfect. You know, I mean, you use the
the
same kind
clean
of system
tone
that I
wasn't-
use, yeah. But your clean tones, yeah,
Try harder next time, all right?
yeah, pretty much. That was, you know, going into some Powerwolf Sabaton there. It you know, the two very influential, for me actually pretty recent bands as well. Particularly Powerwolf. I'd found them like 4 months, I think, before I did that Shredfest performance, and that the first time I heard their songs, I was like, shit, this is just so fun to play. The lyrics aren't super difficult either to like kind of follow along with.
Fucking super difficult to
But
sing.
goddamn, to try and like sing along with them, like they've got that really like high energy that Sabaton has as well, which for me really resonated with me. It's like, okay, doesn't matter what kind of mood I'm in. If someone if someone comes in and requests the Powerwolf song, I'm gonna be like yelling out the top of my lungs trying to sing along to this.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
I know this question was, what are
Right.
your influences? But I don't think that we. I'll defer to Red Lionhead here. Do we have a question that says what what bands have you discovered through
Oh my
playing
God,
Rocksmith
that's
that
such
have
No, we
influenced you?
That's a fantastic question. That is a fantastic question, but that's not one of mine.
Jesus Christ. Right. So, Zelk, what does it feel like to have influenced me? Like you have influenced someone else in the community. What does it feel like?
What?
Is this the difficult?
What?
So you were influenced from listening to Powerwolf, and then you did Powerwolf on the second Shredfest.
Yeah.
You in turn created the monster that is now me.
I mean,
You are responsible.
Yeah,
it's in the same, but it's in the same vein that anyone that requested Powerwolf to me for the first time would then be responsible for me enjoying Powerwolf. You gotta
Yes.
then take it back to, it's not particularly me that's responsible for you or that other person requesting it responsible for me. It's still Powerwolf at the end of the day. They're the ones that have created, and the people that charted it as well, to help bringing that experience towards us. But
Yeah, I got
No.
into Powerwolf the lazy way, just watching them live.
oh, the lazy way, you know, turn up, pay money to attend those live
Oh,
concerts.
they happen to be playing at a gig that I turned
Yeah,
up for.
I just rolled out of bed and they happened to me in my room. I was like, fine, just play that one song.
Tons of Rock Festival 2019, I think. Tons of Rock in Norway.
you and Red for me were the influences to the music that I play now. Like Zal, you were the influence to spur me on to play more Powerwolf and listen to more Powerwolf, and so was Red. Red was the inspiration to play and listen to more Powerwolf. That is it. There is nothing behind it. We can't trace it back to the lineage of where Powerwolf fucking first.
I'm not trying to say that.
It was you fucker.
I don't know. I've not really thought about that. I feel like a better question to ask for something like that with a bunch of people that are in this chat right now as streamers is how do you feel about your influence being a reach to other people potentially getting into Rocksmith or into guitar and music or rhythm games into the first place? I feel like that's a better question than just to say, what about this one particular band Zook?
That is a very good
why did you get me into PAL? Why are you making me inject this drug I call hype metal?
That is a very, very good question.
That is a good question. But also,
Yes.
at the same time, I want to thank you both.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
No worries.
No worries.
I want to thank you both. I want to
Okay.
thank you both. Like Red and especially Zelk for introducing me to new music. Like, and this is a key thing for all Rocksmith streamers around here, including Gamma, who looks really high at the moment.
It's all right. He's Canadian.
Yeah, it's legal there.
We can't hear him because
he's
he's
mute.
muted.
No, he's not muted.
Oh, I just keep forgetting that
Okay.
I pushed talk. I've been getting steadily higher throughout this podcast.
Yeah,
Same.
right. But it's
Still the same height.
my point was originally that everyone here, it's one of the greatest things that we can give to the Twitch community is influencing people to listen to other music. It's our gift to them. And it's an incredible feeling for me. When I stream, this was my point. When I stream, when someone goes, "Oh my god, I've never listened to Powerwolf before," I'm like, this came from fucking Zelk. And it came from fucking Red Lionhead. Like it's like a weird kind of lineage for me. Like it's music for me. I mean, I don't know what it is for you guys, but music for me is very personal. And I'll always remember like where my father and my mother's influence, I'll always remember it. I'll always remember it. And like influence from Dave, influence from fucking Zelk, influence especially from Gamma. I will always like my memories are very much aligned with music. And it's very personal to me. I know it may not be for other people, but
I totally agree. Like that's every day on stream when people request things I listened to in high school that I listened to 8 years ago, that I listened to 6 years ago. It's like just listening to the music that was in that time period for me instantly brings my brain back to those times, and it's very strongly tied to memory for sure.
Yeah. So even though it's like it can be an off the cuff remark, I will never forget where my Powerwolf influences came from. I'll never forget that. It's just one of the things that's embedded in me. It is. It really is. That's no fucking joke. That's some real shit.
That's putting a little bit more pressure on the next Shredfest, then, isn't
by
it?
Powerwolf.
Yeah.
Mate, you fucking hell, Jesus Christ, though. You couldn't have literally put a better Powerwolf show on if you fucking tried, mate. It was fucking.
I can try better.
coming from a person who actually doesn't really like Powerwolf like myself, your set was phenomenal. Like I had fun the entire time. But yeah, like metal stuff like that, I'm not really into. I'm a classic rock and punk rock girl and pop punk. Like that's me right there in a nutshell.
Get rid of her.
I mean, the whole thing with Twitch is it's not just the music; it's the show. That's it.
Yes.
The show is more important than the music,
that
I
is-
even think.
Yeah. Dave, ban Griff. Get her out of here. Don't you?
Down to all but metal.
All right.
But
give
yeah,
me just one second. I
the
do need to
show
confirm
of
that.
Shredfest is really important in that sense.
Yes.
just giving all you got, and that's true whether or not you're on Twitch or if you're on stage or whatnot. If you're not giving it all you got, what's the point?
Yep. No, it's
Like,
not.
especially like
yeah.
we who get we get some subs, we get some donation, we get some bits, all of that, so we get actual money. And if you're
I
not
don't-
fucking giving out everything you got, it's like
Hmm.
you're just cheating people for cash, and that's really not fun.
I think that Venom and I were in a conversation that kind of stemmed from that. I don't know if you remember that conversation at all, but we were talking about how you can tell when some streamers are really in it for just the money, or if they are in it to, you know, just be that personality and just hang out and stuff. Like that's what that reminds me of.
That was a bad conversation. Yeah.
I mean, like it wasn't a bad conversation. I think the way that we went about it was bad, but the conversation itself is actually a good conversation to have.
I think we've all encountered it. Like, there's no
Right.
sort of skirting
No,
around the
right.
issue.
Dave, let me fucking interject here. So me and Dave here, who's a good friend of mine. Not sure if you know him, Rubber Dave. We have had
That'll be
many
me.
conversations while a little bit inebriated about who the people are. You've got two types of people in the community: people who are pushing, and people who are kind of loving streaming for what it is. That's it. There are two types of people. There ain't anyone else. There are two types of people. There are people that are fucking pushing for money, pushing for subs, pushing for everything, and there are the other types of people who are just happy to have an audience for what they do, and if the audience grows, then that's fucking awesome. I remember this conversation very clearly, Griff, because it was me, Dave was involved, Young Gun came in as well. And we had this conversation, and it was about kind of interacting with your audience and being real, like being real to yourself, not being real to your audience, but just being you. And then people kind of attaching themselves to you. My perfect example is Gamut, who is high as fuck.
I'm the example.
High as a motherfucker.
I'm like moderately high. I'm more drunk than high, honestly. I'm not even that high.
But that dude is the guy that I latched onto. And I was like, this guy is fucking real. He is just saying shit how it is.
I really don't give a shit at all about like how many subs or whatever. Like the numbers are like entirely irrelevant to me. I'm just out there doing my thing.
Yup.
And that was my example. But you can easily tell, like, as an overseer in the whole community, I see everything that's happening. I can see all the people that are fucking pushing, and I can see all the people that are fucking true. And that is their prerogative. I do not have an emotion that goes, oh my God, we need to stop these people from fucking pushing to get more money. No. They do what they do, and the other people do what they do. And that is what makes unity. It's what makes unity unified, because you have that kind of group of people that have a goal, have a set, and then you have the people that are fucking just chilled. Whatever your persuasion is about watching a Rocksmith streamer, we have it covered.
Right, like
Yeah, people.
There's so many different everyone's into different things for entertainment, you know what I mean? They're into different people, they're into different approaches, and whatever you do, there's a crowd for what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
we,
this
we all like different shit. We all like
This is-
different music. And we all like different fucking types of streamers.
this is one of the reasons why we've made it so as when you apply for the Shredfest, we make no judgments on anything at all.
No, and it should
We,
never
we
be.
make no judgments on what your stream is, what you do, who you are, whatever. Literally, we tried to make it as fair as possible, so people who haven't been in a Shredfest yet will get pushed to the top because they haven't been in one yet. And then what we do is then we sort by basically who first come first served after that. So it's two levels of sorting. If you have been in a Shredfest before, you will come underneath people who've not been in one at all. But if you get your request first, you are going to be at the top of the list of people who've sort of been in one, and so on. Like,
Dave, I have a question.
yeah.
What if you're the founder? Is there a special privilege for the founder of Rocksmith Unit in Shredfest?
You what?
I
If
think you
you're-
should close the show
Oh,
if that's the case.
You're asking, do you get special privileges? No, you don't.
Fuck you, Dave. I hate you.
You don't get special privileges. I don't get special
Rocksmith Unity.
privileges.
That's a good public image to put to everyone, though. Is like at the end of the day, like we genuinely are being as unbiased as possible with it.
Exactly, because this
Yeah, I
is
mean,
this is the whole fucking point. This is the whole point of fucking Shredfest. Sorry, I'm gonna get onto this later. Question, Red.
yeah.
Go.
We're not done.
No, we're not done.
Yeah.
Question.
Well, it's kind of the time is just flying, so I think we're just
Yeah.
gonna skip and keep a few of the questions for later streams. Though that's
No,
basically
I
what we're gonna do.
Questions were good.
More questions.
More questions.
I mean, I'm fine with doing it. It's just
Yeah, no, I'm liking this. I'm liking the fact that it does mean that we have basically negated a not negated, the opposite, mandated a need.
Zombies,
For-
yes, it's the same.
Yeah, for
Yes.
another one of these streams. That's
The funniest thing was when Venom was like, "Oh, it's only gonna last an hour." I was like,
An hour.
Are
Yeah,
you,
we
if
are
you're just
2.5
interviewing one
now, so
person,
there's that.
sure. But
yeah.
Jesus
I'll-
Christ.
I'll-
No, right, let me just say now, it was going to be an hour when we had 4 people fucking here, but now we've got 7.
then
So-
leave.
Oh shit! Damn, them some fighting
Oh,
words.
oh.
Holy shit!
Oh no, bruh.
Oh,
Uh,
Oh, that's evil.
Wow.
no.
as funny as that
Well,
was,
well,
I
feel-
yeah, we-
shows
I
the power
feel-
like that.
I feel a bit violated there.
Memes, I'm sorry. All right, I'm a little bit sorry.
Well, we're
Reason
yeah.
is,
So we're just gonna
Yeah,
we're going to go for a few of the like wrap up questions in that sense, and that's kind of a question I wanted to ask. And what was the
Zelk, click on green room.
Yeah, no, it because I'd been kicked from the room. Even green room was the default thing, so I just had to switch it back and forth. My bad. There we go.
Fred, listen to me. Feel free to just carry on as it is, as I've got a special surprise later on. Carry on.
well, it's getting late, so there's that.
Right,
Well,
Only
Surprise me now.
where were we?
I mean,
Kid
we have
surprise.
kind of, yeah the surprise, but we have kind of touched on the topic, but we haven't kind of explored it fully. But like the inspiration behind Shredfest, like we need to know what the inspiration to make Shredfest in the first place.
Drunk one night.
I feel like Petters should be able to start that one off.
anything that's aimed towards me. However, right. So I will give you the little history tour behind how this fucking shit started.
Uh-oh.
So, in the midst of
You got drunk.
yeah,
That was the first step.
right, don't spoil it, Dave.
There's not really much to that story at this point. It's just that.
Sorry. So,
Yeah, I've got a lot to add to this, but yeah. Carry on.
in the midst of the pandemic, back in April, March time, I was stuck at my sister's. I had nothing to do. My girlfriend was like 8 miles away, but I couldn't see her because we were like, in this pandemic shit. So I was watching Dutch Rocker, his stream, and I was like, Barry, I've got an idea. And I was fucking like half a fucking bottle of Jack Daniels deep by this point.
You just woke up.
Pretty much. It was me morning. I smashed this fucking bottle down. I was like, Barry, I've got an idea. Why can't we get all the Rocksmith community players all together? And he said, I don't see why not. And I was like, well, what about if we have a festival 5 times a year at this point, Dave? Don't start losing your shit. Why don't we have a Rocksmith festival where we have like, I don't know, 24 people who like do an hour of their favorite band and then rate the next person? Why can't we do that? And he said, we can. So I was like, right, okay, let's create it and see what happens. So I created the Unity Discord, and then there was like fucking 20, I don't know, 30 people in it.
I remember
And-
those days because when I got added to it, I was like, oh shit, is this? Because I was still pretty brand new to the whole like music society community on Twitch.
Were you there for the first one, or did you join after?
I was there for the first one. But the
I'll
couple
be
of
right
months
back,
building up
sorry.
to that, it was pretty much like 20, 30 members, and
Yeah.
it was weird because I was like, oh, have I just been invited to this like exclusive club? Am I part
Well, I
of the
mean-
cool kids? Have I
I mean,
been
yeah.
noticed?
Yeah,
What's going on here?
There's a couple of things about this that I'll talk about in a bit once Venom's finished with his bit.
So we had 30 people, and I was like, okay, let's make this happen. So we did the Shredfest thing, and there was only me to kind of like guide it. There was no staff members or anything. There was like a couple of people that kind of like hung out and like wanted to help, but I had to stay up for like 28 hours because we had some add-ons. So it went from 24 people to 28, and I was like, fuck me. And the first person that fucking started, if he's still here, Batman.
Started an hour early.
Yeah, Batman did
that was my fault again for that. Because what were we saying? We were saying GMT, and I was like, GMT's English time. It's always been English time. Great green minute time, right? GMT. So it's
Greenwich.
Yeah,
No.
not just you. I was telling him, no, it's now. It's now.
So,
yeah. Oh, you started an hour early. Anyway, we fucking got past that shit, and then I stayed up for 28 hours after that. For the whole fucking shit.
A
And
madman.
it was fucking incredible. And I was like, afterwards, I was completely fucking drained of everything. Like when Blessy finished, I was like, holy fucking shit, I need to come up with
Holy shit. Blessy was the end of the first fest and the start of the second.
yep.
Yeah, correct.
Well, I mean, Young Gun was technically
like
the
for me now.
first on the second one, but yeah.
All right.
If Young Gun didn't jump in for a late join from the applications, then yeah, Bless You would have been the end of the first and the start of the second.
Barry's
Anyway.
in the stream.
Is
Rock
there
Barry,
and
you,
House.
Barry,
Oh,
you
that's
fucking
Rocker.
remember this. You remember this shit.
Mm.
And it was a real thing. And me and like Barry was a big influence behind kind of like making this shit happen. So I've got to give big thanks to fucking Barry and Dutch Rocker, whatever you want to call him. Absolute legend. It was an eye opener. For the first one was kind of an eye opener, but the second one I was like, fuck this shit. We need to get some staff on board.
Hold on. This is where I interject and say, after the first festival, basically, we had a few sort of like moments where we weren't sure what was going to happen. The next person was due on, and they weren't online, and everybody was sort of like rushing around, sending messages here, there, and everywhere. And at that point, I was
That
like,
was my set.
Yeah, the second
Yeah.
one was
yeah,
fucking
it
rough
may, yeah. Well, some shit happened, but during ballroom set, and yeah, but every time something happened, everybody was rushing around trying to figure out what. And so at that point, I was like,
How's it going, Mike? How's it going, man?
I was like, now what needs to happen here is you need to have a dedicated a small group of people who are going to worry about that, so not everybody has to worry. Because like during the first fest, everybody was worrying about what's going to happen with the next performer, and so I was like, nah,
Yeah,
nah,
we-
I was like, for the next time this happens, you need to have a small team of people who are going to worry about it, so nobody else has. And that's
we created that with the fucking
Yeah.
staff. The staff members are fucking amazing. Like,
Mm.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah. Literally,
mean, you've
all of the staff and volunteers have been fucking brilliant. I cannot praise these guys enough.
Even Gabbett is a big part of the community. He's high as a motherfucker right now, and he doesn't probably know where he is, but
I am completely lucid. Excuse me.
But yeah,
he's my boy. And some of the like when we got the actual like custom forge and rocksmith like community legends like Toy Machine and Zagato Z and fucking people fucking like that. It was an epic moment for me. Like I always remember these little kind of moments in the community building.
there
that
was
really
there was a
resonate.
long time. There was a long. Sorry, I had to interject. There was a long time when it felt like it was all invite only, and like
Yeah,
I
it was.
really, really, really wanted to open it out and open it to the community, and I
Yeah, but we did that, Dave, because
Yeah.
we were worried about the people that we were
Oh, I
kind
know.
of inviting in. And we didn't
I
have
know.
any staff members to like deal with that shit.
Mm.
We were like, oh god, what the fuck are we gonna do? And we were just like scrabbling around for like people that we knew were cool dudes,
I
like
know.
Grim and Red and Gamut and Zelk. We knew they were fucking awesome, so we just kind of invited them in. And for some
Actually, Boom invited me in, just as a heads up. So if any credit is due, Boom so much gets the credit for inviting me in.
Boom needs
Yeah,
a lot more credit
it's-
than he gets as well.
yeah, Boom.
Oh,
is the fucking
definitely.
community.
There's like there's a lot of people who I forgot to invite that I feel really bad for. Like it was just when it
Yeah.
first started out, it was invite only sort of thing, and like I wanted to open it out as soon as possible.
Time
but
machine. It was Dave's fault, by the way. Just so you know that you weren't
I'm
invited.
gonna blame Dave.
He takes
Oh.
full responsibility for not inviting you, but you know.
Yeah, no. I will say that I definitely should have invited you earlier on. It was my own. Yeah.
But also, I don't stream that often, so it's kind of like,
Fuck that
it's
shit.
like, does he even stream?
But
We're
you
all-
are Mr. Rocksmith.
I was supposed to say, yeah. Regardless of whether you're streaming, you're still such a key part of this community.
massive
Through
part of
through
the-
talking to a lot of different people and a lot of different social medias. Like I said earlier, it's not just through the Unity Rocksmith. I think pretty much only really found out about you the past couple of months, but now anytime I do go online and I do happen to find myself, let's say on Reddit or on a Facebook post, or whatever, Toy Machine is pretty much always the top comment saying, oh, okay, this person's having a problem. Boom. 2 seconds after that person's put the post in, Toy Machine's put a fucking reply. It's, hey, you should probably go over here, help this person, or you should be doing this to help that.
Yeah.
I never contacted you because I always thought that you actually disliked me. That was the reason. I was like, because of all the shit that went down between me and Shane. Like a lot of people.
There was a line. Yeah, there was a line drawn. I guess because of that thing. I guess.
The best thing that ever happened to our community was that kind of got fucking sorted out very quickly.
Yeah,
very quickly.
And there were some people that were like on board with it, and then there were some people who were like, "Fuck you, you're a dick." And
I think the people that try to create a fire out of a spark have either left the community already or have changed who they are as people as well. Like they've kind of grown a little bit from that.
I know this is a really awkward time to do this, but I really, really need to go for a piss. I'll be back in a minute.
oh my god, no one was talking to you, Dave. So
Damn.
baby drama queen.
So aggressive.
I think he's used to asking for permission first. So
Red, what's the next question? I'm going for a piss.
I find in the Rocksmith community we take out the trash usually.
right.
We're really quick on the draw when it comes to taking out the trash, especially if those people think that they can, get away with saying the shit that they do. It's just like, do you realize that we have like hundreds of people in the Rocksmith community who will oust you so fucking fast?
Yeah.
Like, don't
Yes.
talk shit, get hit.
Yeah, I've kind of almost floating back into what I think another question we did have that Venom sent me that might be on the list is origins of streaming.
Yes.
I used to stream some speedrunning before I did Rocksmith.
Me too.
And although speedrunning has this huge community, and it is a really big community, and it's kind of getting bigger, especially with events like GDQ and ESA going on all the time. It's still kind of one of those things. It's because it's such a broad term to use the word speedrunning. It's like saying, oh, anyone that has ever played the guitar before is falling under the music category and the music community, which can work, but within itself, kind of, it breaks to some extent. But with the Rocksmith community, because we're all playing the same game, we all have the same kind of harmony. We've all seen the same growth, particularly over the last year or so, like Venom Hammer was trying to edge into with the RS mods. The accessibility that Rocksmith streamers and the Rocksmith players now, viewers, now have to interact with both the stream, the content of the stream itself, and like I said, with the streamers themselves, especially now as well. So you got the over 100% speed stuff, so you can do some just insane goofy stuff like you would be able to with other games that had added them normally. It's a game that's been out for what 6 years, and it's still to this year being like adapted on due to its audience. And I think that's a really cool thing about this community.
There is so much going on with the Rocksmith community that is amazingly cool. The thing, Jesus Christ, I hate myself for being so honest, but I don't like the direction of doing songs faster and some shit like that, because that kind of puts us in the same line as the Guitar Hero community, which I don't want to be like. I don't want us to be the same. I want us to be faithful to the song.
And also faithful.
I completely agree. Honestly, like with the mods, like I'm not going to be downloading those mods whatsoever, because honestly, I just want to play the song and I just want to hang out. If I wanted a skill check, I would ask the chat for a skill check.
And
it's not to say kind of going like I said with Boon so much the accessibility rather than the extra credit for trying to skill check yourself with these RS mods, like the background remover. I think that's been one of the most blessed things that a Rocksmith streamer could have been given. Instead of having this large rectangle thing on the top of your screen, you could just get rid of the background completely, either through color or Luma key.
I'm talking about the speed shit that's come along recently.
And the donation modifications.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna use that as like a stream reward or something. But at the same time, like I very much agree that like lately I've been pointedly not making a rush out of the requests, to the point where people are like, "Oh no, it's taking a long time for my request." I'm like, you know what? That's okay. I'm not here to like gun through requests and like fucking gas out in 3 hours. I'm here to like have a good time all day. And that means it's in your interest to just like chill and take your time.
The last couple of weeks I've been doing some full album
Dave.
like playlists. Yeah, last couple of weeks I've been doing some full album playlists just because, you know, I want to just play shit that I like. I'm not just there to.
We're not talking about the right. That's a different kind of conversation. But
okay,
what we're talking about now is the mods. The
speed.
Basically, people pay fucking money or bits to speed up the song by 100 or 150 or whatever fucking percent.
Yeah.
I am not down for that. Personally, me. Because I wanna progress as a guitarist. I don't think that kind of fucking influence, even with money is not my. I don't need money, so money is not really a fucking objective of mine. An objective of mine is in my stream, is to gain more people that I like to talk with that have the same interests.
Yeah.
And want to watch me grow as a guitarist. Now, watching me grow as a guitarist by paying money to fucking play Dragon Force 150% is not my bag. However, if it is your bag, then fucking go for it.
You know,
go for it.
I really think you're hitting the nail on the head there when you say like attracting people that are interested in what you're interested in, because like I wasn't in the last Shred Fest. It turned I wasn't. I'd been in the first two, so I couldn't get in. And on top of that, I ended up having internet problems. But the last Shred Fest that I was in was the second one, and I did Ghost, and I put up like Ghost decorations, and I just never took them down. And like people come in, and sometimes they're like, "Are you playing Ghost? I thought you were playing Ghost because there was a big Ghost graphic." And the number of people who have just been brought in by my big ghost graphic that get along great in my stream, it's like, why would I take this down? It's like a beacon for my people.
Fucking hell, yes, bro.
Well, that's why I have a pirate ship backdrop. It works fine.
Oh my god, I love pirate ship. And
It's
I
really.
know- I also
I-
love your hair, by the way.
I feel like being successful as a streamer really is about just leaning into whatever your thing is and not being shy about it.
I think the speed ups are interesting in a not in a musical way, but just like the way that you can take a song that it just like you can kind of change the entire feel of it by just giving it that little boost, which is something that it happens in the Clone Hero thing. Like there's a streamer like Randy Ladyman. You'll never really see him play a song normal speed because he discovered that it's just more fun. But every now and then there's a song that actually sounds kind of like actually completely changes the dynamic of it. Like
Oh
when
my
speed
god,
up a
dude,
little bit.
you sound like a true advocate of this mod. However,
like an advocate of
So when I was trying to bring
I know.
up these mods in the first place, I'm not trying to just bring in the speed mod. That's like its newest
I know,
iteration,
but
and I think that's why
what he
people are talking about it.
no, I think that the other
He's
mods
bringing
are
up that the
fucking
modding is
tremendous. I think the other mods that they've introduced, like rainbow strings and fucking like no notes and stuff like that.
The extra tunings, tags, and
Yeah.
stuff that they get on there. The
Because
fact that you can rename the list of the playlist. It's stuff that
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
should have been added as an official update from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Rocksmith
But
team, but just
it doesn't
hasn't.
matter. It doesn't matter where it came from. But what I'm saying is, I think the speed stuff, personally,
yeah. First, I'm just giving my take as
Take-
a rhythm
take
game player.
away from the fucking song, which is like as a guitarist, like as a Rocksmith player, even myself, I'm not fucking good at this game. I don't know really. I'm not the be all and end all of Rocksmith, but what I do know is I don't want to go down that road because I love the songs that I play. I love the songs that I play and the speeds that I played in. And I will never ever take money from people. I don't give a fuck if you're going to give me $1 million. I ain't going to fucking play that song 150%.
I will do it for $1 million. Anyone with $1 million, I'm down for $1 million.
Yeah. If anyone's going to pay $1 million, I'll do it. But what I would say is, it does kind of have a place, but not in a it's not in a way that people would want to watch normally. But
It
when
feels
you're,
like
when
we're
you're
trying to
practicing,
create the guitar
when you're
here,
practicing stuff, if you
continue
can
with
practice over the tempo that it's supposed to be played at, then it feels easier to play when it's
When
played
you
at
go
the
back to
normal
normal.
tempo.
Yeah. Which is
And
what
certainly,
If-
if you're used to playing live, you are going to need to practice playing faster than normal tempo because your drummer is going to speed up.
yeah, like if he gets excited, then the whole song has
Yeah.
to shift. Like
Yep.
I
Hocus
would do
Pocus,
that all the time when I was the drummer in a band.
So, like,
how Metallica plays stuff live.
yeah, you do need to practice at slightly above the normal tempo, just because
yeah,
your
Jesus
drummer
Christ,
probably
yeah.
is going to speed up.
I mean, I've been in a lot of bands, and the drummer always gets super fucking excited and plays approximately under. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Tap you in. Dun, 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 dun.
He plays super fucking fast, and you're like, shit, son, fuck me. And everyone
Yeah.
in the band turns around to him and goes, sort your fucking shit out, mate,
I mean-
because
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
super
I mean,
fucking
it's-
hard to play.
It's
Look,
the same effect if
I'm-
you're going to
I'm-
do a speech.
I'm going to revert to some age-old jokes. How do you know if there's a drummer at your door? The rate of the knocking keeps speeding up. And how do you know if there's a singer at your door? He doesn't know when to come in.
Yeah, and it's out of key.
Dave, I resemble that last joke. All right.
Okay.
I also resemble the
final-
last
Question,
because
Red.
I need some sort of like head nod. Give me a head nod.
The head nods are
Okay.
everything.
Final
There was
question
something in the chat
before we
that I
jump
wanted
out
to-
of here.
We're wrapping it
that I
up.
wanted to say.
That's more aimed to Dave and Venom, and that's future
Right.
plans. We need to know. Shredfest 4, of course.
Right. What's happening with Shredfest 4? I think we should probably
knows?
start with what's happening with the
Application.
yeah,
Applications, yes.
applications. Okay, so we were hoping to open them tonight. We're not going to open them tonight, so we are going to open them tomorrow. Now, we do have somebody working on a website application form. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to be using the same forms that we used for the last Shredfest. So, no matter what happens, applications will be opening at 9 p.m. GMT tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So basically, what's happening is the Unity Shredfest website will be opening applications for your Shredfest application tomorrow, 9 p.m. GMT. If it doesn't happen, we will tell you, and it will go back to the original plan of Dave's mad spreadsheet. Anyway, so it's probably going to happen on the on the website. Be excited. This is the fucking Shredfest that is going to kind of encapsulate all the new people with the OGs. No, because
This is
of the
it.
because of the way that the spreadsheet works, so it's going to have a lot of OGs in it, and it's going to have a lot of fucking new people in it. And all the OGs will be standing by, so you're gonna get a lot of fucking cool people with the new people. It's gonna be probably the best mix of people coming together for Shredfest. It's gonna be fucking amazing. I am genuinely excited for it. Anyway, carry on.
There's a few people in the chat that have
I'm always
recently
excited
joined the
for
Rocksmith
everyone.
community within the last month or so, and it'll be really exciting to see them join the next Shredfest as well.
Yes,
Well,
It
so
has
exciting
been
seeing the
all of
community
all of the
snowball.
new people will be prioritized. So if
Yes.
you're new, you will get a priority slot.
Let me fucking tell you a little story.
Another one.
There is a very prominent person who is now trying Rocksmith that is going to come into the fucking Shredfest 4, and it
Just-
is Lord Grimm.
Oh.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, we got the
That
Griffin board.
Shit fucking
That's gonna be so fucking awesome.
Yes.
because he is the guy that is kind of like he's built his reputation on just playing songs, and now he is interested in fucking Rocksmith, and he's come in to this
Skeleton
community.
Yeah, he's done his first Rocksmith stream in the last couple of days.
Oh, really? Did somebody help him set it up properly?
I assume so.
did
Did you see old Drake's? Sorry, did you see old Drake's Rocksmith stream? That was painful. It was.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was really. Someone needed to help him.
Oh,
Is he gonna?
Rocksmith is not an
we
easy
need-
game to set up for stream.
we need to help him as well.
Yeah.
Get him
But-
involved.
This whole thing of like actual Twitch musicians coming into our community and going, shit, yeah, I want to fucking try some Rocksmith. That makes
It's on
my
sale.
that makes my dick twitch. I'm all
Hers also.
all right. So for these people to integrate with us is an exciting time, and we're gonna get some Legator people involved. So the Legator community are gonna get involved in our
Stephen, get fucking get on it.
Brilliant.
Get us fucking like,
Stephen's gonna get involved. I promise you. I'm gonna show him the way, and I want to kind of like
this is the way.
yeah,
This is the way.
way. So, what other questions do you have, Red? I think I
That
covered.
was pretty much it. So,
I'm sure
should we
there was
raid someone? Yeah, we should.
Can I
We should
just like can I
well,
say how awesome and how fast this community has been growing and has been maintaining? Because since the pandemic, this community has grown so significantly, and I think that that's a testament to Dave and to Venom.
No, not me.
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. It's both of you guys, 100%, and I think that big thank yous go to you guys.
I can't take any of that. That literally is down to Venom.
No,
I can't
Yes.
take any of that credit.
Okay, let me explain some things right now. So I came up with the idea and I followed it through. And I followed it through
That's the
fucking
thing.
Trev Fest.
And
However,
I've said this to Venom plenty of times already. Like,
yeah, it's drunk.
pretty much everybody in the Rocksmith community has thought about doing this. Everybody has had that thought.
Yeah, even Chainbrain.
Everybody.
Even Chainbrain. When I spoke to Chain,
Venom
he
is
was
the
like,
only person who's
"I-"
actually followed through and done it.
Yeah, I did. But
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about that shit. It's all about you guys. The reason, and this is fucking 100% true, the reason this community works is because of every single fucking one of you. That is it.
Yeah, and
If
you
it-
got us all together.
If I
Shucks.
dude, if I had a fucking community, right? If I tried to create a community on fucking Guitar Hero or that other fucking toxic fucking game, whatever it's called,
League of Legends.
it would have been a fucking shit show. But I knew from just watching other Rocksmith streamers, I knew it was going to work because we all have the same goal. We all have the same idea. We all have the same fucking train of thought. And it was always going to work. Yeah, we're going to get some fucking absolute weapons grade bellends that are going to, integrate with us. But we can deal with that. We can deal with it. It's not a problem. And that's how it worked. Not because of me, but because of you. Everyone here. Don't shake your head at me, Griff. It's fucking 100% true.
No,
The
I did
reason
nothing. I'm just here.
the reason this all works is because we all have the same ideal. And that's why I just kind of fucking
lockdown.
I just
You
got you all
focused
a
it.
big hug and got you all together. That was all that I did. It was not a big deal.
There have been attempts to do it before. Kind of worked. Didn't quite work out properly. But this is working at the moment.
This is probably the most well put together Rocksmith community I've seen in the last 7 years.
All right, well, let me give you an insight into why it's well put together. It's that guy with the fucking Judas Priest fake t-shirt. That guy is a legend. And he does, like, let me not bullshit you, right? Okay, all of you right now. Dave does so much for the fucking community that I can ever thank him for. All right, he is my everything. He is my. Without him, this wouldn't work. This genuinely wouldn't work, honestly, because I am a massive fucking penis, and he basically tells me what to write in the community because I will upset a lot of people because I'm very headstrong and very fiery.
Too
And
upfront.
yeah, we work very well together because he's my mediator.
Yeah.
Filter.
Right? Anyone in this fucking community, anyone that's in the fucking chat right now, I will tell you now, I will not fucking lie to you. I'll not bullshit you. Dave is the real voice behind the Rocksmith community. Now, occasionally, I'm allowed to be let off the leash.
What?
Like was the case when Griff was and like when you had that thing
Look,
with
we don't,
Yeah.
we don't have to beat around the
Yeah, we're
bush.
not-
It was ballroom.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that shit, that I was fully let off the leash then. Sometimes when shit goes down, I'm allowed to say what I want, but mostly it goes through Dave. So everyone in the fucking chat right now, give a big hand for Dave because he is the real ruler of fucking Rocksmith.
People clap. People clap.
He's the fucking man, and he's one of my best friends.
Absolutely. I don't think we can top this.
What
Hopefully,
You did have some good questions. I can tell
Send
you.
on questions.
Well, like the first question: what do you really appreciate about the Rocksmith community? To Gamut,
To me,
Quick fire
yes,
round.
fucking dick face.
what I appreciate, I mean, I'm gonna sound like I'm repeating a little bit because it's largely what you were kind of talking about earlier. It's that, it's really that priceless feeling of like putting your all into something and having people like hop on
Okay.
board. Like the idea of streaming in general is just like, showing up and doing whatever your thing is and like really doing like going at it with your all. And the number of people I've inspired to pick up an instrument to start
Can I,
streaming on Twitch TV is like that's what keeps me going, man. Like the fact that like my energy is catching on other people and it just like invigorates me all the more and just makes me want to go harder and harder all the time.
Awesome, Griff.
So I love this community so much, and I think without you guys as a support system of sorts, I guess I would not be here without you guys, because there was a time where I wanted to stop streaming altogether. Like at the end of 2019, I took a really long hiatus before I came back for 2020. And let me tell you what, that was a struggle of like, do I still even want to do this? Is it even worth it to me anymore? I wouldn't be here without you guys, honestly and truly.
Yes, Red.
just the general positivity of this fucking community is what I really enjoy. The fact that people, I mean, especially metalheads, can be very stubborn and very like, oh, what I like is best and what you like is shit. This community doesn't do that. Even if you don't particularly like the band, you can always find something positive about the bands you get requested and all of that stuff. And
Even
just
Joe.
getting that, yeah. I mean, yeah, even Ghost, like everything. It's just it's few bands that I really despise, and they're on my blacklist for a reason, but that's another story.
Dave, you fucker.
Yep.
My turn. It's the majority of the Rocksmith community. I've got a few dabblings in other communities, and like there's none that are as mature as the Rocksmith community. Like, yeah.
I'm not sure about that. but carry on.
If you're in any other communities, you know.
It says a lot.
What about you, Tom Machine?
Just like general appreciation of music. I mean, I've always loved music, and it's like centered around music, but it's also like it's a bit different. Like right now, the Guitar Hero community is very young, so I kind of feel sometimes I kind of feel like really old in their streams, even though like I've been around there for like years and years and years and years. But I've always liked helping people, whether they appreciate it or not. So that's I like to feel useful, I guess, and provide making sure everyone has the correct information and like I know that a lot of streamers like they don't want to do tech support, but like it kind of reminds me of when I had a job before all this started. So that's good too. And yeah,
I will say I look up to you, and you are one of the people that I wish I could be like when I grow up.
Ditto.
Aw.
Ditto.
oh boy, I'm just gonna
God
drink way before you.
Whew.
Well, that was me.
Yeah.
This is Toy Machine in his head. Oh my stars.
Well,
declare.
I mean, the thing I love about this community is the humanity. The actual, when I look on Twitch, and I look on Facebook, and I see some of the shit that people post, and look back to our community, it's the humanity that fucking strikes me the most about our community that works, and will always work because we're all human beings. We're not a project of the new like trolls or fucking whatever. We just don't deal with that shit. We're just us as human beings, and it's an amazing feeling. And it's also, since the first iteration of Unity and Shredfest, you people have made my life so easy, especially Dave and Zelk and fucking Stadgy and fucking the people that in the staff community are incredible. And then we got the people that were involved in the RS community, like Toy Machine and Zagato and fucking Theo. It was like an amalgamation of everything that I've ever wanted in a community that makes our lives better as a community. Because as a community, we're not, in my opinion, we're not an entity to help each other. We're not a fucking help desk. We're there as friends. And yeah, we're there as friends. And if we can be friends and we all support each other, then that's what I want from my community. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit whether you're fucking pushing for fucking 7 million subs or fucking.
I will play Dragon Force at 600% tempo.
Exactly. Whatever you
Be
want.
$50.
Yeah, for $50. Whatever you want to do, we will support you because that is what we do in this community. There's no judgment. And if there is the judgment, I'll fucking judge you and you'll be gone. That's how this works. We
Right
like
now.
to call them. We like to call them. All right, as a little bit of an insight to the community. We like to call them executive decisions, which are made by me off the cuff. So as long as everything's fucking working sweet and we're all getting on together, I don't give a fuck what's going on. Dave runs the show.
Yeah,
Dave is the man.
every now and then I will call Venom in to make an executive decision on something that I don't really want to call.
If anyone doesn't know, that's my job now. But it's brilliant. I'm more of an overseer. I'm looking at everyone individually, how they're getting on, how we can help them. Everyone is looked at as an individual. Like, you can fucking attest to this, Dave. When we look at everyone as a stream, we look at everyone individual. We're like, right, okay, how can we help this person? How can we do more for them? That is the fucking core of this community.
But yeah, I mean, the main thing is like when somebody's new in the we do not judge. That's like if somebody wants in on the on the Shredfest, we make no judgment on them at all. They
No, we
put their
don't.
application in. Their application is just as valid as everybody else.
Exactly. And the only thing they need to do is they need to be like streaming. They need to have streamed Rocksmith. All right. The rest is fucking irrelevant. Whether they're good enough or not. Right. Okay. Let me give you a fucking prime example. I spoke to Grim Chorizo, who is the drummer for Vexing Hex. I was like, I want you to be in fucking Shredfest 4. I want you to apply. And he was like, I'm not good enough. And I was like, you do not decide whether you're good enough or not. All right. You are good enough. And you deserve a place. That's how the fucking system works. The system doesn't work off. Oh my god! How many viewers has this guy got? How many hours in Rocksmith has this guy got? We don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck, and that's how this fucking shit's going down.
Yes,
Is that correct, Dave?
absolutely.
I think that we should probably let Zeal talk because we've really gone off the rails.
Yes.
Poor
Sorry.
Zeal has just been sitting there like, okay, when is it my turn? I'm patiently waiting, and like I'm seeing him get antsy. So like,
Sorry, what was the subject?
You mate.
What do we appreciate about Rocksmith?
Oh yeah.
To be fair, like there isn't really much that I can add too much past what you guys have already said. Like everyone's really encompassed everything. But what I said earlier as well, and I said to my missus earlier as well, being as part of a speedrun community before having joined this one, sure, the term encompasses a lot of different games and a lot of different variety of playing, but there's also a huge competition between everyone. There's this huge like rivalry that, yeah, sure, we may be part of the same community, but I'm against you. You're ahead of me on the leaderboards, and therefore I don't like you because I have to beat you. Whereas here with this Rocksmith community and music communities in general, to be fair, but the Rocksmith community, there is that like camaraderie between everyone where we're all at the same level, regardless of skill or if someone can request and take a skill check or not. That doesn't matter because we're all here for that one reason, and that is music. And that we care for music in one way or another, whether that's expressing our music expression upon others and only playing certain parts. Like Gryffindor Chick and my music's gonna be very different, but you can go into either or and appreciate that we're gonna be playing music for you guys, and we're going to be enjoying the music that we're going to be playing.
Right. I would go so far as to say that like there's like the level of skill doesn't even feel relevant in the Rocksmith community to how good your stream
No.
is. Like some of the
No.
best streamers are people who are like not that experienced at Rocksmith, and like being amazing at Rocksmith also doesn't necessarily mean automatically that you have an amazing stream to watch.
Correct.
I mean,
However-
I think
Absolutely.
that's sort of like
But-
the music industry in general is like a lot of what's popular, what does really well in music, isn't necessarily the cool stuff. I mean, like I'm gonna drop back to Nirvana because like when I was learning to play guitar, like many years ago, initially I thought Nirvana were great. And then I started learning to play their stuff, and it's like, oh,
got
that's really easy. I'm not interested in that. I want to try and play stuff that's a bit more technical.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not to denigrate the stuff that they did, because what they did was fucking great to listen to. Like, and that's the thing with music, it's not all about how technical it is to play. It's about how good it is to listen to. Like, do you enjoy it? If you enjoy listening to it, it's good music. Doesn't matter how technical it is.
And yeah, with music, you do get such a big, broad spectrum of what people can listen to, enjoy, and play for each other. And I think that really does help, like, encapsulate people's different skill levels. You will have those that play the music that's fit to the music that they enjoy, and whether that happens to be a higher skill bracket or a lower skill bracket, someone can come into their stream and equally enjoy it to someone else, whether that is another streamer that's a higher or a lower skill bracket kind of thing. And that's what I was kind of alluding to with the speedrunning thing. With the speedrunning, you typically only focus on, let's say, the top 3 people, the podium people. Everyone else is a bit irrelevant because they're not hitting those big numbers as everyone else is. I'm only really saying this because I don't have much reference to other kind of communities.
No,
At least, like, I've been part of other gaming communities, quote, but those communities don't really exist. It's just I happen to play the same game as they do. Cool.
So,
our experiences are completely different, kind of thing.
as a very young Rocksmith streamer, I'll give you this advice. Anyone that's in chat, whether you're a seasoned Rocksmith player or brand new, stream for yourself. Stream for your own progression and enjoyment. All right.
Yeah.
Once you start streaming for viewers, you fucked it. You have absolutely fucked it. Stream for you, and stream for the people that you love to turn up in your channel. Doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
If they're turning up in your channel fucking today, do it. Sorry, Rad.
And on that bombshell. On that
Um,
bombshell, we really should end this one.
Right,
it's
Sweet
been
Red
4
Land.
hours.
Red, if you wanna leave, and we'll. But I mean, Zelk, you're hosting.
Yeah,
this,
Zelk's running it.
So if
What
you
I
that's
would
good.
say,
you've
this
got shit to do, Red, don't worry about it, mate. Absolutely, don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
I need really need to sleep.
Remember when we said this is
Okay.
going to be an hour long?
Yeah, we've been going on for
that's what we expected. To be honest, this is our first time doing this, and we thought that, to be honest, I thought an hour was gonna be pushing it. Because I had about 30 seconds worth of stuff that I could talk about.
I've got
I was like-
stuff that we need to talk about, Dave.
So yeah,
guys hear
don't
about
worry,
the
Red. If you have
franchise?
Yeah,
if
Red
you need to go,
man. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I,
Right. Before everyone does go,
think-
can we just, because I have a feeling a few people in the chat have questioned this before as well. So this is the first podcast stream that we've had. Congratulations, everyone that's in here now. Way, woo. Clap, clap, clap. Pat yourself in the back. But there are a lot of other Rocksmith streamers out there that I feel could have a real great chance at broadcasting just not themselves as a Rocksmith streamer, but themselves as a personality coming onto this channel and to help boost this channel.
Absolutely.
For the pre and final of Shredfests in future. For people to get used to
that is a great idea.
Yeah,
for this to become like a bit of a community hub, let's say on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
I mean,
2 weeks.
We've wanted this to become
you
a weekly thing anyway. So
yes,
yeah.
But the reason, let me explain. The whole reason behind tonight is not to see you later.
So
Red's gone.
Red's gone. That's fine. The whole reason behind tonight being a thing is not to promote Shredfest 4. It was actually
part of it.
It was supposed to open the applications for
Shredfest. No, it wasn't, Dave. It was to start the whole channel. The channel for doing this kind of fucking podcast thing, but with multiple random people throughout the community. That was my whole goal behind this. I wasn't here to be a celebrity or anything, even though I am. Anyway.
Neither was I, even though I am.
Dave. Fuck you, Dave. Right.
Everything I do as acknowledging I'm a famous person.
Everything I do it for unity. The whole thing was to kind of like it was kind of like a thing to start off the whole Unity podcast thing, which I want to be like a weekly or at most monthly thing.
Yeah.
People can get on here and just discuss shit. I don't give a fuck what they discuss.
And it's mostly to be taken over by the events team.
Sorry, Tom Machine. I'm not really professional at this, but I just say what's on my mind. But this is the thing where people can come on like from, and I would love to watch it from any you fuckers, right? You fucking fuckers. In the chat.
I will wear that badge with honor. Thank you so much. Fucking fuckers. Just I want a little like name tag.
That's what
not
I do.
You, Griff. You're not a you fucking fucker. You fucking fuckers in the chat. You can come into here and like get involved in this. Get involved in the community, like visually and viscerally. This is what it's all about.
We want you guys involved.
I already have a stream. It's if you've never been into my stream, then it's like this, but worse. I'm actually pretty reserved here. Anyway, Dave, carry on.
Yeah. What? Yeah, we want people involved. So yeah, if you want to get involved, get in touch.
Yeah, and we will
Venom, take over.
We will showcase you, like get you in, do this on a weekly or bi-monthly basis. I don't give a fuck what goes on. It's not my it's Red is running this. But get real people in here and chatting. And I'll come in.
Fuck your gamut robots in the top left who haven't moved a muscle in the last hour and a half.
Right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Though.
I am, if anything, feeling like I'm taking the mic too much.
Do you have any idea how high that motherfucker is right now?
I mean, I guess I've been quiet in like the last 10 minutes.
If you've ever seen some of his streams where he's
I wouldn't
fucking
shut the fuck up earlier.
You hear the guitar, but you can't see his hand move.
Gamut, do you remember that time when you first tried edibles? That was one of the fucking crowning glories that I've ever seen on Twitch.
One of these days, I'll do like a ridiculous amount of edible on stream again. That's for sure.
Dude,
I've been pretty
right.
sober lately, as far as Gamut goes, anyway.
Let me fucking tell you how this
Right.
shit went down.
Can I just say, this
so-
is probably a good time to start winding the stream down.
No, we're not wanting to know.
No.
Gamut first tried edibles, right? And he looked like he'd fucking had a stroke. It was fucking amazing. It was one of the greatest things I've ever watched in my life.
That was the whole
Because-
fringe of edible
Yeah,
oil at
It
once.
was, oh my god, it put me off fucking trying edibles for life. Genuinely.
Edibles are good.
Genuinely.
Just don't do the whole syringe. No, honestly,
Oh,
like
man.
don't let that destroy
I'm
edibles
talking
for you.
about them little gummy
Dave's
bears
out.
that you had. Them little gummy bears that you had. I was like, fuck me. They are fucking insane. Because your face looked like it actually melted on screen, and I wasn't even high.
And that was that the 420? That was the day that Herman Lee rated me too, right?
Oh,
No, no. The first time Herman Lee raided you was fucking smashed on gin.
Well, that was drunk as fuck on my birthday. Yes, Herman Lee exclusively raids me when I'm intoxicated out of my brain.
There you go.
I arranged it, and I didn't realize Gamut was absolutely fucking smashed out of his skull.
We
All
like
right,
to
boys,
party.
boys,
What can I
boys,
say?
Until it actually happened. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
On the
Sorry,
event
I'm-
on the birthday on the 420.
I'm
those
just
were the
looking
days.
for. I'm just looking for our next raid. Chainbrain's not on mine.
Yeah, he rated Mike Leon. He cut off early.
Ah, fuck that shit. Right,
Yeah.
let me have a look.
Prague, Alexander, Jolts, Metalhead.
Daniel DK is streaming.
Chainbrain, I mean,
No.
like,
Young Gun is streaming as well.
Young Gun, yeah.
yeah, young
He's
gun.
so close to hitting his
Jesus.
500.
Let me decide.
Executive decisions.
Right,
Wait, is it
I
over?
have, I have,
I guess I'm
I
hungry.
have, on this one occasion,
Okay,
I have executively decided to raid Relaxander.
Okay.
I
approve this decision.
I want to fucking say to everyone now. This is a person that I believe every fucking streamer should exact their being to be like this guy because he is fucking amazing. Apart from Dave, but he's there, and Zalk, and Toy Machine, and Gamut, and Griff. Anyway, but unfortunately, because all these amazing people are here, we have to decide on someone else, and I have decided to raid Relaxander.
Okay.
I love that man. And he is so real. He's so real. And he has got so much talent that I want to raid him. I'm sorry.
I see him.
He's there. Alexander 666.
Oh, there he is. I see him now.
Can you do that for me, Zal?
You'll have to do it. I have to be an editor to raid for you.
All right, okay.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
Just distress.
Yeah. Nah.
That nose. That's a great
I've
type.
not got permission.
What?
What?
You're the
Love you too, Johnny.
wait. Are you not?
You've not got
are you not Unity
permission to
Rocksmith?
raid
Who owns
Yeah,
the
I-
channel?
channel.
I can probably log in.
Red Lionhead does.
No.
God damn
Why
you,
did I
Red!
just randomly end up in Pablo Shred's channel? What the fuck is going on?
Give me a minute.
Quick,
Oh, wait,
someone
you
call Red. We need the login, please. We need to raid.
Brilliant. He fucks off 10 minutes before we're gonna go raid someone.
Give me a minute.
Oh, I'm so excited for dinner. Oh, I'm so hungry.
Fuck you, Gamma.
Chicken stir fry.
Mm.
Foodsmith. 2021.
I have salad too. I
Oh
bought
my
3
God,
heads
I've
of
been
salad
denied
or of
access.
lettuce.
Been denied access to the space. Holy shit, I can't.
Petter is always hating on Gambit for Johnny's right.
I love you, Gumbo.
I love you too, babe.
Alright, wake up, Red Lion, and tell them.
Wait a minute. I got it. Oh,
I don't know.
no. Wait a minute, I fucking got it.
How did I drink 4 beers? That was a lot of beers.
It's your Steam whistle.
Oh fuck.
Have you gotten free Steam whistles going to the brewery, Elliot?
There we go.
That's it, boys and girls.
There we go, guys. Let's go.
Should have done that though.
Yeah!
I do that regularly when I go to Toronto.
If you wanna hang out, I'm always on the green room, so just come and hang out. Bye. Fuck you.
Alright, thanks
Yeah.
a lot, everyone.
No, don't leave. You
Yeah,
don't have to leave.
we're gone.
Fuck yeah.
All right.